Good evening everyone, how are we? Welcome along to your live watch along for the Ladbrokes UK Open 2021. How are we doing? We apologise for the late start. We had quite a lot of action going on tonight in the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. 4-2 game that one was. Absolutely crazy. So hopefully you guys that did watch that did go on to enjoy that game because it was a brilliant watch overall. But we're here now for darts tonight. We've already had a brilliant weekend of action at the Ladbrokes UK Open, and it continues as we go to round 6 of live Ladbrokes UK Open action. If you're wanting to watch in the UK, it's available on ITV4. If you're wanting to watch the main stage, if you're wanting to watch stage 2, then you can get access to that via pdc.tv. However, you do have to pay to watch the stage 2, which is a little bit of a shame. God knows whether they're actually streaming these games live or not, but ITV4 is your place to go for the main stage. But basically, let me get myself on the screen a second. Give me a second. How are we all doing? Welcome along to the stream. Good to see you as always. Of course, it is Ladbrokes UK Open time. And what's different about this tournament, for those of you that maybe don't tend to watch the darts and maybe you're wondering, well, what is different about these types of tournaments, is that this is pretty much the FA Cup of darts. So many players have already been in this tournament and so many players have already been knocked out. This all started yesterday, so quite a lot of action's already been going on in the background before we've even been able to get live. Now, I was actually going to stream yesterday's events at the tournament. Couldn't in the end, purely just because, of course, we had other watchalongs and stuff going on. We had a big game today between Bayern and Dortmund. So we have left it until tonight, where we can get to the real action, because we've got 4 games to come on the main stage, and also 4 games to keep our eyes out on stage 2. Now, as you can see, stage 2 action is going to be in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So that currently is going on right now. They don't take breaks or anything. They go straight through the match. So we could see a lot of these games on stage 2 done quicker tonight. Then, of course, the games going on stage 1 because of the intervals and stuff. But we've got so much to talk about today on stream, and so many of you guys already in the building. How are we doing, Andrew? Welcome along to the stream. Ben Lawson, good to see you, buddy. Welcome along. Jordan, how you doing, buddy? Says, what channel is the darts on? It's on ITV4. If you're living in the UK, so check it out on there. Chris has put, darts is my favourite peers. Liverpool and Carlisle are garbage. They are indeed. And then, of course, Chris has put, I love UK Open because you get players like Jacques and Sutar, or Jakes, as you want to pronounce it, and Sutar going on a run. Of course, Sutar currently 3-1 up against Dave Chisnall. And then apparently Humphreys has won. I mean, I've had a few problems with everything going on the right-hand side of the screen. Flash score's pretty shit. So give me 2 seconds and I'll try and see if I can sort out getting Sky Bet for scoreboard stage 2, because as I said, right now it's been pretty shit, if I'm honest with you, with everything else that's going on. There we go. So give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to sort this one out. So it might take us a second, but as you can see, Dev Chisnall and Alan Sutar currently playing right now. We're going to swap these around and just get these sorted, so then the scoreboards are pretty up to date. Now, they're actually going to be ahead of me, and quite a long way away ahead of me, so I do apologise in advance for those of you maybe watching along and it spoils a little bit, because it is going to spoil a little bit for me as well, so I'm going to quickly sort all this stuff out in the background. So there we go. Let me quickly change that. And as for what you guys have been saying, who do you think is going to win this tournament? Because right now it's been quite an interesting start to the Ladbrokes UK Open. A lot of big players being knocked out already, and also a lot of players, I think, unexpectedly making it through. One of those, of course, being Alan Sutar, who's made it all the way to what is the 6th round of the tournament, which is mad when you think about it, because of course, he's been doing very well indeed. I've just clicked on the wrong bloody page, haven't I? Let me flick that back there. So unorganised today. That's my fault. Should have been much more prepared for this. But, of course, we've been rushing about so much to get everything underway that I've kind of been a little bit busy myself. So there we go. That's that section done. Let me not move that. We'll move over to the second stage, which is going to see Devin Peterson. That is going to be taking on Peter Jakes in a little bit of time. So, of course, we will look into that match a little bit later on when that game does kick off. But as I said, there's so much action going on. I need to update everything because I'm not used to all of this action. 2 different stages with all of the games going on. So 10-4 to Luke Humphries, which we'll talk about in a little moment's time against Clearmacher, who again is another one of the players that I don't think many people expected as such to go through to the big rounds of the tournament. But the event started, which therefore means, if I'm correct here, I should be able to get the Devin Peterson one on the screen. Brilliant. So we've got that one up there. So that's the Devin Peterson one. Let's get this one sorted out now. I'm pretty sure. That's why. Give me 2 seconds here. I need to do something very quickly. So unprepared tonight. It's my fault. I really do apologise. So if I get rid of that now, that's Devin Peterson there. Brilliant. So what I now need to do is just get the Dave Chisnall one up. In fact, do you know what? It should be alright. It should be alright. This is fairly up to date anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of it for now. Because I can see Dave Chisnall's just made it 3-3 on my screen. 3-3 on SofaScore, so it's not actually too far ahead, which is always nice. So that should sort out that issue. Although we are having a bit of lag here. Do apologise if we are experiencing any lag. That should go away very shortly. But Tubbs is in the building, says, greeting brethren, how are you doing? Are we all good? Welcome along to the stream. It should stop lagging now, by the way. Will just be a little bit of lag for the moment there. As I said, I'm trying to sort a few things out in the background, but we should be all good now. So basically, yeah, we've got a lot of games going on today. Humphries 10-4 currently against Clearmaker. That one is a done and dusted game tonight, which is always fantastic. Good result in the end for Humphries to go 10-4. Devin Peterson just starting up against Peter Jakes, who's had a fantastic run in this tournament so far. Really, really good indeed. But right now we've got Chisnall taking on Sutar. Sutar making a really good run in this tournament. Been very, very impressive indeed. But is his run going to end today? Chizzy has been very, very good so far in this tournament. It's going to be a very nervy game indeed. But yes, there will be lag at points. So I do know there will be lag. Only because I am trying to do 2 things at once here with keeper scores up to date. So it will lag at points. I apologise about that. But the main focus, I said, is on the main stage. Chizzy taking on Sutar. Currently 3-3 in this match. Chizzy with a chance for a 1-2-1 checkout. On treble 17, needs the bull, but he won't go for it because he can check out again with Sutar back at 2-0-1. So unorganised, I'm so sorry. If it starts lagging a little bit more, tell me, and we'll get rid of Sky Bet, and we'll just have the SofaScore ones up. Or I'll try and see if I can get another website with scores that are updating. Because as I said, I'm not used to having 2 games on at once, which makes it so much more busy for me. But Chizzy has just taken the lead for the first time in the match. 91 checkout. Brilliant, brilliant in the end there from Chizzy. And it puts him 4-3 up. Jordan, I know you've asked about the FIFA tournament. It will be soon. I can't give you an exact date on it, if I'm being honest with you, mate. But as I said, it should be in the next week or so. So, because it's so busy right now, I've got so much to do with the YouTube and stuff. We will be doing it at some point, but obviously give me time to be able to sort it out, and eventually we'll get that tournament going on at some point in the near future. But Chizzy 4, Sutar 3. This should be an interesting one, I think. You know, Sutar's been brilliant. Really, really good so far in this tournament. And probably very unexpected kind of start to live. Only recently got his tour card from Q School. And he's coming to this tournament with a lot of confidence. I mean, you've only got to think, one of the big names that was knocked out early on was Raymond van Barneveld. And it was Sutar who knocked him out of the tournament in the end. So really, really good indeed from him. And he's made a fantastic run. And he could be one of the last players in this tournament to still be in there from the earlier stages of the round. At least round 2. Of course, there was only one player left early. It was Brown who was left in the tournament from round 1. He was knocked out in the end. Earlier on, I think 10-1 to Dobey. Daz has asked, can I have my friend Mason Baker into the FIFA tournament? You can indeed. I will remind me a little bit later on in the stream, and I will put his name down, because Will is making a list of names for the tournament for me. As I've got obviously so much shit going on right now, it's mental. Jordan, you are in the tournament. Your name is down. You're in there as well. And then how does the darts lingo work? It's very simple, Winvow. I'll give you a rundown of it. Basically, in this tournament right now, we are first or best of 19 legs, which means that the winner will win this game by at least 10 legs. So, as it stands, Dave Chisnall leading 4-3 on legs. There are no sets in this tournament, just legs only. 5-0-1 game, which means they're getting down from 5-0-1 to get themselves into checkout territory, which means they have to check out from under 170, and it has to be on a double for them to check out and get a leg on the board. It sounds very simple in the long run. As you watch it more, it's easier to understand as Chizzy goes 5-3 up. Very good start from him. Now, I think live score is fucking awfully behind. I will try and sort that out. When we get to the next break, give me another website. If you guys have got another website where I can go to for much more up-to-date scores, and I'll try and flip there because, that is fucking awful. Really, really bad. It's so far behind. It's quite depressing. So I'll try and see if I can get Sky Bet up because Devin Peterson, who we interviewed a few weeks ago, he's currently 1-1 against Peter Jakes. In fact, he's now 2-1 down to Peter Jakes, which is an interesting game indeed. Lots going on there. Chris has asked, has Barney announced his retirement yet? Let's not forget, he won the Super Series a few days ago. Of course, going out to Sutar was a really, really big disappointing result as Sutar smacks in, or Sutar, I'm going to pronounce it, smacks in a 180 to leave himself down at 181. Chizzy back up 4-3-5, and we've got 2 more legs before the second interval in play. So you would assume if Sutar can make it 5-5 by the break, it's going to make this game really, really interesting indeed. If Chizzy takes another leg on the board, it's going to be worrying, but 2 treble 20s and a treble 15 for Sutar will put him down to 8-8. And he's going to have at least 6 starts at it, which means he should be able to make it 5-4. But Chizzy responds with a 180 to leave himself down at 158. Can Sutar make it 5-4? He needs to check out here on 8-8, which he does. Which means Sutar has a chance to go 5-4, which he has. Now needs to try and make it 5-5 before the next interval in play. Everybody's saying Bet365 could be a little bit ahead of your stream. I will look at Bet365 in a second. If not, I'll have a scout on Betfair because I've got a Betfair account on there. And I think I'm guessing with Bet365 you need to make an account. So it'd be a bit of pissing about in the background. So if not, I'll see if I can get Sky to work again because it's just strange. It's, as I said, I had 2 tabs up for Sky so we could have the 2 scoreboards going on, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to work. But Peter Jakes is down at 78. Devin Peterson at 104 on the second stage. Obviously, Devin Peterson looking very good in this tournament so far. As I said, we did interview him a few days ago, in fact, ahead of this tournament, and he was saying he was looking optimistic for the future ahead. He was hoping maybe one day he can lift that World Championship title. But right now, it is all eyes on the UK Open, and he is in a very good position to maybe even make it into the round of 16. But it's going to be very, very tough indeed. Winvow's put AI score. I'll have a look at AI score first and see if that works. But how are we all doing? It's been a few weeks. It's been a long time since we've had the darts. Of course, this is kind of now the point where we get a little bit more excited for darting action. Purely just because we've got the Premier League of Darts in a few weeks. We've got the UK Open now. We've had the Super Series going on. And I know the Super Series will still be going on in a few weeks' time as well. To kind of bridge the gap between the Premier League of Darts and the end of the UK Open. But we've got so much stuff coming up over the next few days. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, maybe I can go live again tomorrow in the afternoon to cover some of the games, but we'll have to see. But Sutar needs 4 to make it 5-5, and he doesn't. So he's got 5 missed darts at the double to put this game equal. Chizzy at 5-4. Got 1-4-1 to check out, which he won't, which means Sutar on a 2-2. And he will make it 5-5 in this game. Big moment in the match. Can Sutar get it? And he does indeed. So Alan Sutar, who found himself 3-0 up on sets at the beginning, clawed back by Dave Chizzy, who started to lead the game. Now means it's 5 apiece in this match. And it's quite an interesting game, this one. Alan Sutar is not backing down in this tournament. And I'll tell you one thing, the longer that this game goes on, the more nervy it's going to get for Dave Chizzy, who will not want to be another one of Alan Sutar's opponents that he's knocked out. He's already knocked out RVB at the beginning of the tournament, knocked out a few other players as well. Is he going to be about to knock out Chizzy? We'll have to find out in a second. I'm going to try and sort out the scoreboard because bloody sofa score, or whatever it's called, flash score, is shit. So that will go off the screen in a second, and I apologise. But it's rubbish. It's so far behind. There's no point of having it on. So I will have a little second where this might lag. So in the meantime, while I quickly go and sort this out, I'll give you a quick look at the Devin Peterson interview that I did with him not too long ago. It was a few days ago that I did this interview with him. And that'll be on for about a minute or two. I'm going to try and find a scoreboard. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Check out this Devin Peterson interview because it was really, really good. As he's currently 3-2 down to Peter Jakes. See you in a second. I'm delighted to say today I'm joined by the 31st ranked player in the PDC Order of Merit. And he is nicknamed the African Warrior. It is Devin Peterson. How are we today?
Josh, I'm great, my man, and I'm pleased to be interviewed by you today on your podcast. It's really great.
Thank you very much. First of all, once again, thank you very much for your time indeed. It's massively, massively appreciated. I want to take you back to the very start of your career. And I know it's probably a question you've been asked a lot from many pundits and stuff, but what's the thing that got you into darts? And specifically, to kind of change the question up a little bit, who was the person in your life, whether it would be a darts player or somebody in your family, that gave you the motive or the drive to go out there and get your PDC tour card?
I think it was obviously our family, in a sense, as in my dad's side of the family. It's well kind of interviewed that my dad was the kind of driving force behind my career. I remember the one time I was doing South African for the international trials, and I got to a high level. I think I was ranked 3rd, and I never got selected for the team, and then came back and never practiced, never picked up a dart, and kind of lost the love for the game. And my dad said, why don't you just give it one more shot and just give it a proper shot, you know what I mean? And I think that words, I mean, those small, that little sentence kind of just resonated with me. And my dad's always been in my corner, no matter what I'm doing, always my biggest critic and biggest fan as well. So yeah, if you were to ask a dad, it's definitely my dad, and he in our family is a legend as well on the dartboard, and in our local community. So yeah, he was my first idol growing up in the sport, and definitely one of my biggest motivating factors today.
And specifically as well, I know, and that was the interview that I undertook not too long ago with a certain Mr. Devin Peterson. Now, I am really, really sorry. If there's any lag, bloody nightmare tonight. It genuinely seems to be that nothing wants to work, and it's kind of pissing me off a little bit. What I need to do is go back there. So Devin Peterson currently right now 3-2 down to Peter Jakes in that game, which is of course a real bit of nervy situation for him right now. I'm just going to quickly delete that 2 seconds. It's been a fucking nightmare tonight already, and we're only about 15 minutes into this stream. I will get there in the end, trust me. I will have 2 bloody live scores on my screen telling you what was going on. So let me just do this a second, but I'm coming back in a second. Alan Sutar, currently right now, finding himself 5-all in this game against Dave Chisnall. Really, really interesting match, this one. Still a lot going on, in fact, in that game. But what I will do is, if I get Betfair up, that should, fingers crossed, work its charm. If I go there and put it on the main stage, there we go. Right, so this might be able to do it. 2 seconds. Apologies about this. And if I do that, and we sort that out. In fact, I tell you what, fuck this. Let me just sort it out. Let me flash score. We're going back to flash score. Fuck it. Too much pissing about. Where is it? Chizzy Sutar. Apologies about this. So if I get Chizzy Sutar up, there we go. And I will change that. 2 seconds. Good to see Dobey kind of back to form. Yeah, do you know what, actually? Fair play to him. It is good to see him back in some kind of form again. It's really nice indeed. Right, there we go. What the fuck has happened to this? I've messed everything up. So annoying. I'm gonna have a nightmare on stream. This is why you prepare early, which I did prepare early, and it's just been an absolute nightmare tonight. You know, when you've got everything set up, you're in a good position to just go get everything sorted, and then when you go live, everything messes up. The wonders of technology, eh? It's fantastic. Right, let's try again. We are just gonna rock with flash score purely just because it sorts the lag issues out, and quite frankly, right now. I don't want to sit there and essentially be pissing about for large amounts of the stream, trying to get the scoreboards up. So I do apologise. As I said, it might be a little bit behind. In fact, it's now ahead, which makes no sense because... Oh, God, flash score, nightmare. So I'll get that up, and then I'll also get Devin Peterson up, which means I should be able to now, fingers crossed and touch wood, we should be able to just sit back, relax, and enjoy these bloody games tonight because that's what I'm here for. So scoreboard stage 2, and that means that we'll sort all of our life's problems out. But right now, 5-5 in this game. Technically, as you can see on your screen, it's 6-5. Chizzy, I think that's the next one there. There we go. So I want to get Devin Peterson. That's the one. And we'll have that sorted out. Apologies. Thank you for those of you that have stayed. As I said, the wonders of technology never bloody works, does it? When you want it to, or when you don't want it to mess about, it does. I've just moved something. I'm having a nightmare tonight. We can actually just sit back in a second and watch the games. So let me sort that. There we go. And let's sort that. And that should be that sorted. Oh, there we go. Finally, we got there in the end. Hey, only took us about 15 minutes. Sit back and relax. We've got it sorted now. As Sutar's on for a 9-darter in this game. Currently 6-5 in this match. He's on for a 1-4-1. How about a 9-darter to start off tonight's action? Doesn't get the treble 20, so there'll be no 9-darter, but he'll leave himself in a very good position to be able to get himself a checkout and go 7-5 up. WinVow, I didn't check AI score in the end. I'm not going to piss about. The only reason why is because it is causing lag issues. So I'm just going to stick with flash score, and if it doesn't work, then I'll keep everybody up to date with the scores, because I guess that's what I do anyway. But let's get back to the action, because that's what we're here for. Chance for an 84 checkout for Sutar. And he's bottled it by hitting a 1, which means he does need treble 17, double 16. Gets to 17, so there'll be no checkout, which means it will be a chance for him to come back. And he is down to a 36 checkout. Does really well to tidy himself up. I mean, we can see in the other game, Devin Peterson has now turned the game around. He's 5-4 up in that match against Jakes, or Jaques, however you want to pronounce it. Very good game, that one, it's looking like. But double 18 for a 2-leg lead over Chizzy. I've already seen it in the game with a 3-leg lead, which he doesn't get. So Chizzy's going to be coming back. And as I said, main stage is on the left of your screen. Stage 2 is on the right, so you'll keep up to date with both games. I just don't want to have any more lag issues. We've been live now for about 20 minutes, and the night nearly collapsed. As Chris said, get some gin down you. I haven't even got any gin tonight. Probably should have got some in the end. I'll get some tomorrow, but double 4 for Sutar. Puts him 7-5 up on Chizzy. Are we about to maybe see Chizzy be about to be knocked out of the tournament? Is Sutar going to be the surprise candidate? Is Chizzy smacks in a 9-darter? Not 9-darter, 3 darts. 2 have a chance at a 9-darter. What about Sutar here? Not going to be able to match with 180. Only gets himself 85. So no 9 dart for Chizzy either, as he hits the 1, gets the 20, and then the 19. Yeah, I thought it was pronounced Jakes. I guess when you look at the pronunciation, technically you'd say it's Jacques, but it's Jakes, isn't it? I think with how he likes it pronounced as. Sutar, he's on for a 180 and he gets it. So Sutar on a 180, gets himself down to 236. I do, by the way, tonight have bets on the dart, as we always do. That's the special thing about the darts, isn't it? I know one of my bets has already in fact, 2 bets ended. I think I've got Price, Van Gerwen, Clayton and Chizzy to have the highest checkouts in their matches. And currently, with this Chizzy game, the highest checkout of this match so far is, I believe, when I have a check in a second, stats-wise, highest checkout of the match is with Chizzy. Checked out a 134 in this game. He is down to 85, though, in this leg. Number 13 of the match. Really needs this on the board, Chizzy. Because if Sutar goes 8-5 up, it's going to be quite nervous for him. Chris saying UK Open most underrated tournament. The thing is, it's a very good tournament. Very, very good tournament. You know, as I've always said before, for me, the UK Open is the FA Cup of darts. It's a very good tournament indeed. As Chizzy gets double 7. 7-6 now in that game. Looking very good indeed. As for the Devin Peterson match, if you are wanting a little update on that one right now, Devin Peterson 6-4 up in that game. Devin's averaging 93.85. Jakes is averaging 93.02. So not the greatest affair between Jakes and Peterson, but he is 6-4 up. That game is in the 11th leg. Humphrey's already through to the next round. We'll see him tomorrow in the quarterfinals. He beat Clearmaker 10 legs to 4. Could Devin Peterson be about to do the same? We'll have to find out. But I will keep you up to date with all of the matches on stage 2 tonight. We've got 2 more matches to come there. Of course, we've got Brendan Dolan taking on Simon Whitlock, who played very, very well, actually, Simon Whitlock, in his last match tonight. Well, earlier today at the very least. And then Gabriel Clemens takes on James Wade. Played brilliant against the world number 4, Rob Cross. Knocked him out earlier on in pretty fine fashion after a dull start to that match. As Sutar smacks in a 140 to leave himself at 127. And as I've said before, I love the fact that there's 2 stages tonight. It means I get to cover 2 games at once, which is lovely for me. Keeps me nice and busy. I don't mind it when tournaments are just singular games on their own, but when you get 2 games to cover at once, it makes it better for me, because I can kind of talk about 2 games in the background, which is always nice. I like that. It's one of my favourite parts about the UK Open. The fact that it's not just all on one stage. Does that how will it work for the refs, Josh? What do you mean in terms of the refs? I have no idea. Double 16 though for Sutar. To go 8-6 up, which he does. And he finds himself potentially minimum 2 legs away from the quarterfinals on his debut in the UK Open, which is mad when you think about it. Crazy, crazy good start for Alan Sutar. Obviously, as I said, got his tour card not too long ago at Chisnall. And he's coming to this tournament. And he's been fantastic so far. Really, really good performance from the Scot, who's about to knock out Chizzy, which is crazy. Who would have expected that? If you put Sutar to win this tournament, you've got some very decent odds on the table. As for the game between Devin Peterson and Peter Jakes, that one has just gone for an interval, so that'll be back soon. In terms of that game overall, looking at the stats of the match, there has been 5 180s in the game, 3 from Devin Peterson, 2 from Jakes. In terms of the checkouts, 46.15% for Devin Peterson, 28.57% for Jakes. That's 4 out of 14 on doubles for Jakes and 6 out of 13 for Devin. Highest checkout, 121 for Devin and 40 for Peter, with the averages, of course, both averaging around 93 in their game, as that has just gone to a second interval in play. So, lots of work still to be done. And lots of work to be done for Chizzy, who needs to get a leg on the board here. He's got himself down to 55 with Sutar 316, which therefore means you would expect Dave Chizzy to get himself one leg away from equaling up Sutar's score on 8-7. So 15 double 20 needed. Gets the 15. 2 darts at tops for Chizzy. And he only needs one. And that puts Chizzy just one leg behind Sutar. And he's got a little bit of a smile on his face right now, Sutar. But he knows he's in a bit of a nervous position now. He's got to get the next leg on the board and make Chizzy chase for the rest of the match. Or else if you make it 8-8, could be a very, very interesting game indeed. As Devin Peterson and Peter Jakes have just got underway yet again. Daz asked, have I got any football bets on tonight? I had football bets on, but Dortmund ruined it for me. And BSC Young Boys in Switzerland, they both ruined it for me, so I'm quite gutted about that. Really, really thought Dortmund were going to win tonight, to be honest, when they went 2-0 up. But then they just did what Dortmund do and bottle it, which is a bit of a shame. And they played well. They played really good at points, but the instant minute Bayern got a foothold of the match, it was always going to be impossible for Dortmund to get back into it. And yet again, another De Klassiker that was brilliant to watch. Absolutely fantastic game. As Sutar is at 304, gets himself 140 to leave 164, which means Sutar's on a finish. Chizzy at 184 is going to have to try and get himself down to a finish here. And he could be on for a chance to check out and make it 8-8. He gets himself 136 to leave 48, which means Peter Jakes has got to check out this 164 to make it 9-7. Treble 20, treble 18 bull needed, as Devin Peterson's just taken another leg on the board against Peter Jakes tonight. 7-4 in that game. Sutar only getting 96 to leave 68, so 16 and double 16. In fact, Chizzy's going to go 8 and tops instead. And it was the perfect choice. One dart was all that was needed for tops, which means we're back to an equal game. And it's 8-8 in this match as Anand Sutar now goes from a little smile in that last leg to a little head shake of disappointment because he had a bit of an advantage there. But he has certainly let Chizzy back into the game. But Jordan says Lazio scored against Juventus 1-0. Good start to that match. Very interesting there. And then Chris asks, who do you think is going to win the UK Open? Oh. Do you know what? I would have said right now, in terms of form, Johnny Clayton. I think has been the most consistent player of any of the players in the darts tournaments of the last few weeks. You know, got himself into 2 PDC Super Series final, winning one of them, losing one to Joe Cullen. Had a brilliant game against Dirk van Dijvenbode early on today, beating 10 legs to 3. Who would have thought that, considering, you know, Dirk van Dijvenbode averaged over 100 and pretty much did a quite easy job over Gary Anderson in the end. So I did think to myself, maybe Dirk van Dijvenbode was going to be up there, but he's been so convincing in this tournament so far. I would have to say, I think Clayton has to be up there to win it, in my opinion. Van Gerwen has struggled a little bit, although earlier on today got a good result against Mensur Suljevic, which is a big confidence booster. Going Price, been a little bit shaky at times, but got another good result today against Ricky Evans. But for me, 2 players, without picking Van Gerwen and Price, Clayton and Wade. Clayton and Wade. I would put Simon Whitlock in there. Great player on his day. Love to watch him. I think some of the games he's had in the UK Open so far, he's been a bit patchy. I think he played against... Was it Labanauskas earlier on today, I think? Labanauskas he played, I think, in the end. And he was just, for me, a little bit too unconvincing. Kind of let Labanauskas back into the match. At certain points, I think he had a couple of match starts to win the game. And the Lithuanian got himself back into the match. So for me, I think, Whitlock could be another shout up there. But Wade, he was brilliant against Rob Cross. Looked comfortable. Said in his interview after the match, he was like, I'm not here just to make the numbers. I want to go and win it. As Chizzy looks to be going one leg away from going through. Chris has put start of the tournament. I said Price, I'm sticking with it, but Clayton Wade could easily win it. I think, I don't want to go for the specific players of Van Gerwen or Price are going to win it. I'd like to go for an outsider. And as much as I think we can't say now Clayton is an outsider, because the way he's been playing over the last few months has been brilliant. Came into the Masters, very, very good player in that tournament. Came into the Super Series, played brilliantly well over the weekend, never really had one bad blip. And so far, not really been tested a great deal in this tournament. So I'm going to stick with Clayton for now. But how are we doing, Ben? No, you're good. Welcome along to the stream, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see all the darts regulars, of course. It's been a few weeks since we had the Masters. It's nice to be able to sit back and watch some darts again because, of course, the next tournament after this is the Premier League, which we're going to have 5 nights of. Can't wait for that. Looking forward to April when we sat there for a whole week. Darts, darts, darts. And maybe even soon we might have a few fans back in stadiums. I think they were looking to try and get some fans back for the World Match Play in Blackpool. So I'm definitely looking to go and get tickets to go and see that, as well as maybe streaming some of the tournament if I'm not there. But Chizzy, 9-8 here. Got 98 on the board. Sutar's back at 369, which means it looks like Sutar's reign in this tournament is going to end in the last 32. He's been brilliant over the last few days. As Chizzy checks out the 98, and he goes through to the next round, 10-8. And you've got to give credit to Alan Sutar. He's played brilliantly in this tournament. Beat the likes of Raymond van Barneveld. Thought he was going to beat Chizzy in this game after a very good start to the match. But ultimately, in the end, Chizzy, another player who you have to say has always been up there as one of the better players of the last year, he's well within a shout of maybe potentially getting himself all the way to the final and maybe even winning it. But good performance from him in the end. We'll talk about that game in a little moment because there is another game still going on in the background. Devin Peterson, 9-4 up against Peter Jakes. Good performance from the South African who's not necessarily been convincing in this match. Currently only averaging 90. Peter Jakes averaging 87.29. So both players not playing the greatest in the world in this match. But it is looking like the African Warrior, who I'm always going to be backing right now because, well, of course, we did an interview with him a few days ago. Great person, great man to talk to. Really enjoyed it. Looks like he's going to be steamrolling his way into the last 16. Currently on 2-6-1 with Peter Jakes at 3-1-6. Stats of that match. Still highest checkout of the game is a 1-2-1 by Devin Peterson. Highest checkout for Peter Jakes is 40, which kind of sums up how poor Peter Jakes has been in this game. As Devin Peterson looks to steamroll on. He's down to 1-2-1 here, the South African. Jakes is going to have to at least get a 140, which he doesn't in the end. Only gets himself down to 171, which means 6 darts in hand here for the South African Warrior to get a 10-4 lead and go through to the next round of the tournament. I will update all of the stuff in a second and that. We'll just see what happens here as Devin Peterson might be the next man to go through to the next round of... I nearly said the World Darts Championship then. It's not the World Darts Championship. We've got a long way to go till then, but Devin's down to 32 here. But Peter Jakes responds and gets himself down to a tops finish. So Devin Peterson, 3 darts in hand for a double 16, needs to check this out to go 10-4 and go through to the next round of the UK Open. You'd expect a player of his quality to be able to put the 3 darts in and not allow Peter Jakes another leg on the board. The 32nd ranked player in the world looking to go on a good run in this tournament and maybe even get himself up into the rankings, towards maybe that middle 20 section of the world rankings right now. But 32 needed. Is he going to be able to get it? That is the question. Or am I just stuck on a screen? I am just going to check just in case for the pure fact that I think Flash Score is going to have an awful tendency to just freeze up in these situations. I think he must have done it. Cheers, Flash Score. Ruining the occasion. Unbelievable. Let me have a check. Let me find out. Yep, he's done it. 32. Checked out the double 16. And Devin Peterson is the next man to go through to the final 16 of the Ladbrokes UK Open 10-4 win over Peter Jakes. With an average of 90.90, not the strongest average in the world by the South African. But he gets there in the end and he's through to the next round. As for Dave Chisnall, he goes through 10-8 on legs. Good performance in the end by Dave Chisnall. Did really, really well actually in the end to go through. Considering how well Alan Sutar's done in this tournament. Really dominant displays from him. But in the end, we have 2 more players through to the next round. I'm going to update the screen in a moment, but don't forget, if you are new to the stream as always, please do leave a like and a subscription. We've got more darts content to come over the next few days, as well as the Premier League of Darts in April. We'll talk through all the stuff in a second, but I will be back in a moment, just going to update the screens, and then we'll talk about those 2 games. It ends Chizzy 10, Sutar 8, and Devin Peterson 10, Peter Jakes 4. And I'm back. That's literally how quick it took. I just needed to sort out the scoreboards for a second. There we go. So as you can see on the screen, 3 games done tonight. We started off the evening, Luke Humphries, with a good 10-4 win against Clearmaker. We'll talk about that one in a little moment's time. Obviously, of course, Devin Peterson, 10-4 against Peter Jakes. We'll talk about that one first. That one taking place on stage 2 tonight at the Ladbrokes UK Open. And a really, really good result it is for Devin Peterson, who has been fantastic in this tournament so far. Not the most convincing game in the world. When you actually look at the stats of the match, only a 90 average for Devin Peterson in the end, which he'll be a little bit disappointed with. Peter Jakes averaging 88.2, so probably one of the lowest averages that he's had at the UK Open so far. But when you look at the stats of the game, 4 180s for Devin, 2 for Peter in terms of the 180s. Checkouts wise, nearly 40% on checkouts from Devin Peterson. That's 9 out of 23 on doubles. As for Peter Jakes, only 23.53%. That's 4 out of 17 on his doubles. Highest checkout of the match was 1-2-1 from Devin. Only a 40 checkout from Peter Jakes, which kind of overall gives you the rough idea of how disappointed I think Peter Jakes will be with that performance. Never really properly turned up in that match, which is a real shame for him in the end, because he had a brilliant run. But overall just did not get the result that he needed to go through to the next round of the UK Open, which means we do move on to our next game on the second stage. This one will be taking place very, very shortly. Apologies if there is any lag. As I said, there will be points where it'll just lag for a brief second while I change some stuff around. But Brendan Dolan will be taking on Simon Whitlock. We'll talk about that one in a little second, because Dave Chisnall just beaten Alan Sutar 10 legs to 8, not 10 sets, it'd be a bloody long game that, 10 legs to 8. 99.52 average from Dave Chisnall, with a 91.28 average from Alan Sutar, so not a bad game overall for Chizzy. Good average in the end. A little bit low for Alan Sutar to be able to match up with Chizzy's average. But when you look at the stats, 47.62% on checkouts, that's 10 out of 21 on doubles for Chizzy. As for Alan Sutar, 26.67 on his checkouts, that's 8 out of 30 on doubles. So you can quite clearly see it was the doubles that was the problem for Alan Sutar in the end. And it was just a really, really good start to the game. I thought, when he went 2 legs up in the match, we were going to get a certain situation where maybe he was going to maybe surprise everyone and get a good run of form going. But in the end, Dave Chisnall just got himself back into the match and he showed the class. And the reason why he's ranked 7th in the world, and no doubt if you can try and win this tournament, he will boost himself up in the rankings. But he does, of course, win that by 10 legs to 8. Which means we'll also be moving on to our next match tonight. Dave Chisnall and Sutar are finished, which means the next game of the night on the stage, specifically speaking, is going to be Ratajski and Johnny Clayton. Now this one, for me, is one of the more interesting games of the night. 2 very, very interesting players on the stage. Ratajski played brilliantly well at the World Championship, which was, in fact, I'm pretty sure, we saw him at the Masters and he didn't do great there, but that was probably his better performance quite recently in terms of how well he played. Didn't do amazingly well at the Masters from my memory. But Johnny Clayton is the one I'm looking forward to the real one to watch of this tournament. Been brilliant for the last month or so, getting himself the Masters win and also being able to get himself into the late stages of the UK Open. But that, for me, is the one to watch game. But also on as well, at the same time, we've got another game going on which has just started now, in fact. Brendan Dolan taking on Simon Whitlock. Two players that have probably thought to themselves in the past, we're very good players that should be going quite far in a lot of the tournaments, and they could, at least one of them, be going into the last 16. Simon Whitlock currently ranked 19th in the world. Brendan Dolan ranked 34th in the world. He dropped out of the top 32 after the World Championship, so a little bit disappointing there for the Northern Irish player. But the Australian, or the Wizard, whatever you want to call him, is looking to try and see if he can win the UK Open. Not often. We've seen Whitlock actually go on to finals and stuff, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to get to that in the end. But that game's just started. The next game will be Ratajski Clayton. That one will start in a few moments. But looking at your comments, Austin, how you doing? Oh, you're good, buddy. Says, great interview, Josh. Perhaps your interviews can be good luck. You never know. Maybe it might be all my interview that gets Devin to the final. Who knows? But we're backing Devin just because of he's an absolute legend for the time he took for the channel. Chris put Clear Sutar and Jacques start the tournament, or Jake's even. I keep saying Jacques because I'm used to it. Start of tournament would snatch your hand off if you offered them. They would reach last 16, which you are certainly correct indeed with that one, Chris. Daz has said, shock, Brighton 1-0 up against Leicester. Lallana scoring, which is very interesting indeed to see how that one goes down. And then James is in the building. How are you doing, James? Says, good evening, fella. How are we doing, James? Good to see you as always, buddy. Chris saying 10-9 either way for Ratajski and Clayton. It could be that close. And then Rowan, of course, saying, go on, Devin. We'd love to see it. Devin through to the next round, which means he'll be in the quarterfinals, which will be taking place tomorrow afternoon. I won't be doing a stream for it. There might be a little stream. It might be like for 2 hours or so. But we are going to be covering a few of the games going on over the next few days. In fact, tomorrow we have a massive, massive match. Do not miss out, because tomorrow we will have, of course, more darting action and more football action. Starting off, the Manchester Derby. Manchester City taking on Manchester United. That's live from 4:25. KD's going to be covering that one live on the channel. We've then, of course, got the semi-finals and the finals. I'll be live from 7:10 for that to cover all of those games. Should be brilliant tomorrow night with the UK Open. Then I'll be back on Monday night for Inter Milan taking on Atalanta. That's from 7:35 on Monday evening. And then on Tuesday, the Champions League is back. But you can also join us for our UCL FIFA Sim tournament. If you want to play along, please put your name in the chat and I will put you down on the list. You don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation for it. It's a FIFA Sim tournament, and there will be a cash prize / gift card for the winner of that tournament. So if you do want to take part, please do put your name down in the comments below, and I will get you involved with that, because it's going to be a brilliant, brilliant tournament indeed. Really looking forward to it, and it should be a really, really enjoyable few weeks of action when we do get round to doing that. But our next two players are out onto the hockey, or about to get out onto the hockey at the very least. Krzysztof Ratajski taking on Johnny Clayton. This game should be an interesting one. I've got to say, for me, Clayton wins this. But do not underappreciate Ratajski, because Ratajski over these last couple of weeks and stuff, as I said, didn't play great at the Masters. Was knocked out, if I'm correct, quite early on by my memory. It feels like a long time ago since we watched the Masters, and it was only a few weeks in the end. But for me, I think with the way that Clayton's been right now, Ratajski beat Aspinall in the 4th round 10-5, and then Madars Razma 10-8 in the 5th round. But for me, it's the form of Clayton. Incredible, incredible run by the Welshman. Knocked out Dirk van Dijvenbode in the 5th round 10-3 before knocking out one of the Rodriguez brothers. It was Jake Rodriguez, I think, 10-7 in the 4th round. So that big test was against Dirk van Dijvenbode, and he passed it with flying colours. Can he pass the test of the Polish Eagle, Krzysztof Ratajski? You can see on the screen, bottom left is the main stage. Bottom right is stage number 2. There will be a little bit ahead of me, so I do apologise if my reaction's a little bit far behind in comparison to what you can see on the screen. That's purely because I would get a more up-to-date to we've had so many issues tonight. I'm having to use Flash Score to to update without any lag issues, so I do apologise about that in the end. But James has put, sitting back the stream, there's not a clue about darts other than the 301, 501 scores. Put your feet up, James. Sit back and relax, because it's going to be very, very good indeed. Looking forward to it in the end tonight. Of course, I was watching it yesterday, as we didn't have a stream yesterday, as Clayton smacks in the first 180 of this game. And I have got a bet on, I need Clayton to get the highest checkout of this match, because I think it was Clayton, Devin Peterson, Price and Van Gerwen to all get the highest checkouts, and that gives me a nice little 20 quid. So I'll take that if that comes in. So long way to go in this game, but as you can see, bottom right hand corner, we're already 2 legs into Brendan Dolan against Simon Whitlock, and that game is 2-0 to Brendan Dolan nice and early on. So good start there for the Northern Irish player, who, if he can go on quite a good run in this tournament, which, you know, he kind of already is, but I think he needs to go a little further, he might be able to boost himself back up the rankings and maybe even into the top 32 again. I'm pretty sure, in fact, this will definitely put him in to the top 32. If he goes on and goes maybe to the semi-finals or even goes on and win it, then he'll definitely be in there. So a lot on the line for Brendan Dolan. One of the very few players left in the competition that aren't actually in the top 32. In fact, I'd probably say he might be the only one left in that's not in the top 32, apart from Humphreys as well. I think everybody else is in the top 32, so a big run for him either way, but should be an interesting game, that one. We'll keep you up to date and we'll talk through everything going on over tonight's 2 matches. Chris has put, Chizzy got interviewed and was asked, is this finally the tournament you played? Every time I said yes, I got knocked out. Hey, do you know what? Maybe it is a little bit of a curse saying every time yes. If he just says nothing to it, keeps quiet, doesn't say a word, then maybe it might be finally the curse broken for him. Because, as you said, I think Chizzy's a great player. Great player to watch. But his problem has always been he tends to usually come up against someone like Van Gerwen and then beat them and then get knocked out. I mean, nothing will ever beat the 5-0 set demolition of Michael van Gerwen from the World Championship. That's one of those games that will live in the memory just for a dominant performance. One of the better dominant games that were done very quickly at the World Championship in January/December last year. But Ratajski, first leg on the board in this game. He's down to 303. Johnny Clayton at 401 only gets 60 to leave 3-4-1, so maybe a good chance here for the Polish Eagle just to get himself a bit of an advantage score-wise early on. We saw Sutar go 2 legs up in his game. Just give you that little bit of a comfort blanket early on. But Johnny Clayton, looking here to get a 180, which he doesn't. But 121 will do. It puts him down to 220 and makes up for his early mistake by only getting 60. So Ratajski going to be under some pressure here to at least hit a ton, which he does. In fact, he hits a 140 to leave 64. So he's going to have 3 darts at 64 with Clayton back at 220. Big moments early on in the game here, as Brendan Dolan has now gone 3 legs up on Simon Whitlock. The Wizard is off to a stinker in that match. Brendan Dolan doing very, very well indeed in that game so far. But the question is, can he continue on in fine fashion? Don't forget, if you're new to the stream, please do leave a like and a subscription. We've got more darting watch-alongs to come over the next few days, and we always cover every darts tournament on the channel, including we'll have coverage of the Premier League of Darts, which is only in a few weeks' time. Looking forward to that. We'll be live every single night. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. It's quite an awkward time as well because the Champions League is on, so we're going to have to try and sort something out there, but we will sort something out. We'll be streaming the darts at some point, I'm pretty sure. As Ratajski takes a 2-0 lead on Johnny Clayton. Good start. Winvar's put, when is De Sousa match going to start? De Sousa match probably around about 9:30. 9:30, 10:30 is my prediction. It all depends on how long the next 2 matches are. Because if, let's say Ratajski wins this by 10 sets, 10 legs to 1 even, well, this could be quite a quick game and done fairly quickly. But because it's first to 10 legs best of 19, I would assume that match will be around about 10:30, depending on timings and how quickly the two games go. But Brendan Dolan 3-0 up on Simon Whitlock. When that game goes to a break, we'll talk about that one and see what's going on there. Winvow's put, how about we have a channel called the Darts Corner? I mean, it's not a bad shout, is it? But we've kind of got everything on here just because it's easier. We've already got a platform and stuff. But I mean, the Darts channel's not a bad idea. It'd be pretty cool, to be fair, but who knows? Who knows in the future? But yeah, Chris saying about 10 o'clock for that one. So 128 needed here for Ratajski for a 3-0 lead. Gets treble 18, which means he needs treble 14, double 16 for a 3-0 leg lead. Is he going to get it here? Big moments in the game. Gets the treble 14. This could be a brilliant 1-2-8 checkout from Ratajski, which he does get. And that is a third leg on the board for Christoph Ratajski. And that might just put Johnny Clayton under a little bit of nerves early on in this game. He's already 3 legs down. He's going to have to get something quick because he can only go into the break at 3-2. If Ratajski goes 4-0 up even, that's when it's going to be a little bit worrying. He's going to be chasing the game for large amounts of time. But Dimski's in the building. How are we doing? He says, hey Josh, back on the darts. We are indeed. Back again. Back on the booze. I'm not tonight. I didn't get a bottle of gin in the end, but don't worry. I'll be back on the booze tomorrow night. I'll tell you that for sure. Going to be getting myself a nice bottle of gin, I think, tomorrow. So the booze will definitely be on the table tomorrow night. That's for sure. But Clayton on for a 9-darter. After getting hit in 180, but Ratajski responds with a 180 of his own. So Ratajski at 2-2-1. How about a 9-darter from Johnny Clayton? The answer is no. Hits 20 with his first dart, which means no 9-darter. And he matches a 180 with a 55. And now he's under the cosh. I haven't said that for ages, have I? Because Ratajski here at 2-2-1 has hit a 140. Which means he's down to 81 here. And looking like he's about to take a 4-0 leg lead over Johnny Clayton. He's got to get a 180, in my opinion, which Clayton doesn't. And literally, I was praising Clayton for his form. He looks like he's about to shit the bed in this tournament because treble 19, double 12 is all Ratajski needs for a 4-0 leg lead. Hits the treble 19. And the way he's playing, he'll hit this double 12, which he does. 4-0 lead, and this is a beautiful performance from Christoph Ratajski, who's just got so much precision and confidence on his doubles and checkouts. And Johnny Clayton is just finding himself in the biggest uphill battle in the world. And talking about an uphill battle, you'll have just seen the bottom right hand of your screen. Brendan Dolan and Whitlock 4-1 on legs in that game. Whitlock getting his first leg on the board. Only took him 5 legs to do so. As Ratajski's on for a 9-darter. He's at 3-2-1. Let's have a 9-darter. We've already had one in the tournament. He had one in the first round. Didn't bloody see it, but we won't be having no 9-darter from Ratajski. He hits treble 20, 20 and 19 to leave himself at 2-2-2. Ratajski averaging 112.28 so far. Johnny Clayton averaging 91, so you can tell the real gulfing class between the Polish Eagle and Johnny Clayton, who might be about to take the first interval by 5 legs to nothing. Of course, you guys will already see on your screen if Ratajski's gone 5-0 up. I can't see right now. I've kind of hidden Streamlabs, so I don't actually have to see what's going on. But 164 here for Ratajski. Clayton at 116. Treble 20, treble 18 bull. I bet you he checks this out. With the way he's been playing so far, I know he won't be able to. Probably the first time in the match where he's not been able to finish it. So he has given Clayton a little chance to maybe get a leg on the board before the interval. But he gets 94 to leave 70. So Clayton here at a 116. Treble 20, 16, double 20. Gets the treble 20. Gets 16. 1 dot at tops. Which he doesn't get. So Ratajski will be coming back at 70. Treble 18, double 8. To go 5-0 up. Gets treble 18. First dart doesn't get the double 8. But his second dart does. And that's a 5-0 lead for Ratajski. And I'll tell you one thing, WinVal. You're asking when's Jose de Sousa playing. You might be playing in about the next 45 minutes because Ratajski is 5-0 up in this game. And that is the dream start that the Polish Eagle will certainly have wanted in this game. I don't think anybody expected Johnny Clayton to go 5 legs down within the first set, the first part of this game. But he is, and the Ferret has got a long, long way to go if he wants to get back into that match. So that is the game, of course, going on the main stage. Stage number 2, you can see Simon Whitlock just won 2 legs on the bounce, now in leg 7 in that game. Could potentially try and come back. Brendan Dolan was 4 legs up early on in the game, very similar to Ratajski. Whitlock starting to kind of mount a fight back in that game. But don't forget, if you're new to the stream, as always, please don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. We are pushing towards 2,000 subscribers. We're getting there. We're at 1,900 now. In fact, I think we're nearly 1,910. And your support is greatly, greatly appreciated on the channel. I will be covering the semi-finals and the finals of the UK Open tomorrow alongside the Premier League of Darts. We've only got a few weeks to wait. And then it is back. I'll be covering it every single night on the channel. So you do not want to miss out on that. In the meantime, well, let's take a quick talk about the 2 games going on and the stats of the match so far. Let's start off with the Ratajski game while it's on a break. 5-0 as it currently stands to the Polish Eagle. He's averaging 102.95. That's how well he's playing right now. Johnny Clayton averaging 91.50. In terms of checkouts, 5 out of 8 on doubles. That's 62.5% on his checkouts. As for Johnny Clayton, he's not had a chance in the game. 0%. That's 0 out of 5 on his doubles. Been a really patchy start for the Ferret. 180s, there's been 2 apiece. As for 140 pluses, 5 for Ratajski and 4 for Clayton, with 1,100 pluses for Ratajski and 10 for Johnny Clayton. So you can see by the stats, very, very dominant by Ratajski. And if Clayton doesn't get a leg on the board soon, probably within the first 2 kind of legs after the second interval, this game could be done before the second interval's even needed. We won't even need a second interval. He could win this 10-0, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Clayton will come out with a little bit of an improved performance, but it's going to be tough for him to get back into the match, considering he's already 5 legs down in the game. But let's talk about the other match that's going on as well, because Simon Whitlock, he's just made it 4-3. That's now 3 legs on the bounce from the Wizard, who, when you look at the stats of the game, he's kind of playing better than Dolan, although Dolan's checkouts have been much better. In terms of 180s, there's been 4 180s for Whitlock in comparison to 1 from Brendan Dolan. But the important stat, of course, is the averages. 93.38 average for Simon Whitlock, 87.63 average from Brendan Dolan, with the highest checkout of the match so far, a 124 from Whitlock, with a 116 from Brendan Dolan. Checkouts-wise, 33.33% on doubles for Dolan, that's 4 out of 12. As for Simon Whitlock, 3 out of 15 on his doubles, that's only 20%. So you can see both players doing all right in certain things. Whitlock much better on the 180s in the average, Dolan much better on the finishing. It is a case of, can one of those 2 players balance out, getting a better average or better on the finishing, and they might just be able to take a foothold in those games. But of course, we'll have to find out as those games continue on. Don't forget, if you haven't already, do check out our social media. As you can see on the screen, our social media is, our Twitter is @the_top_corner. And our Instagram is _sportscorner_. If you have enjoyed the content and you want to know when we're live again on the channel, then you can use our social media and check out when we're live. I post it on our Twitter and our Instagram when we're live on YouTube, as well as when we post new articles on our website, which is thesports-corner.com. We have new articles available every single day, including an article that I put up today regarding the international fixtures being cancelled in South America over March. If you don't know about that, then well worth checking it out at sports-corner.com. Link is in the description as always if you haven't checked out our website already. But we are about to get back underway here in the game between Ratajski and Johnny Clayton. Brendan Dolan gone 5-3 up in his match against Simon Whitlock. But Sean has said Team MVG. How are we doing, Sean? Are we all good? Very best of luck for MVG tonight. But the question is, can Johnny Clayton get himself back into this game? Because Ratajski averaging 104 to Clayton's 92. If Ratajski continues in the same vein, it's going to be very, very hard tonight for Johnny Clayton to get anything out of this match. As the Polish Eagle puts in probably one of the best performances of the tournament so far. But let's not get too excited. There's still 5 more legs minimum to go here before we see anything happen for Ratajski to go through to the next round. But I always think to myself, Ratajski is one of those players that on his day, he can beat anyone. He's a great player on his day. We saw it at the World Championship. Could have made the semi-finals and the finals. But it's just one of those where I just think Ratajski needs to go and win this. If he wins this, this will be a big confidence booster for him. Considering, for me, Clayton's the most informed player of the last few months. Of course, we've not really had many tournaments going on. We've had the Masters and we've had the Super Series. But Clayton's been the best player for me. In terms of form-wise, at the very least. As Ratajski's down to 44. Clayton down at 225. 12 double 16 needed here to go 6-0 up. Double 8, which he gets. And it's 6-0 to Ratajski. And now is this going to be a case of damage limitation for Clayton? He's going to have to win 7 legs on the bounce, minimum, to take the lead in this game. But it's going to be quite a struggle here. I think Johnny Clayton just hasn't been able to get into the swing of things tonight. And it's looking like it's going to be Johnny Clayton going out here as Ratajski gets himself 140 to leave himself at 361. Clayton at 441. Going to need to get a few good trebles on the board. Gets treble 28-5 and another treble 20, which will put down Clayton to 316. Simon Whitlock making it 5-4 in that game against Brendan Dolan. Talk about a comeback. He's certainly been the comeback king of the last few months. One of the best games I've watched in a few years. Well, a few years, I'm saying that. But one of the best games, the Boyle Sport matches, at the very least. That incredible comeback against Michael van Gerwen. Probably one of the best days of darts we've ever had in terms of comebacks. Although saying that, he has now gone 2 legs behind. Brendan Dolan, I think, checking out 40 there to get 6-4 lead. So, a lot going on there in terms of drama. Whitlock got a lot of chasing to do in that match. As Clayton smacks in a 140 to get himself down to 76. Ratajski at 187. Dempsey saying, come on, Chizzy boy, because Chris just put he's down number 5 in the world after that win. Which is big dubs for Chizzy. Really, really good. I will say one thing very randomly. I have been practicing a lot of darts recently. Because we've had quite a lot of downtime as Clayton does get himself a leg on the board. Gets tops to check out 76. And that puts him 6-1. And for once, I'm ahead of Flash score. Come on. As Ratajski even smashes in a 180. For a chance for a 9-darter. How about that? That'd be nice. We'd love a 9-darter. We had one, of course, in the first round. We haven't had one since. But the way he's playing tonight, he could be the one to hit it. And he starts with a treble 20. He gets another treble 20. How about another one for a 9-darter? No, unfortunately not. Goes for the 19 and doesn't get the treble. And hits only a single 19. So there'll be no 9-darter. But I don't think he really cares. Because he's down to 182 after 6 darts. He's probably looking set to take the 7th leg. Well, technically it'd be the 8th leg of the match, but the 7th leg to Ratajski's name in the match. Played a couple of games on Naka Online Darts this morning. Didn't play bad at all. I saw that, Chris. First time averaging 100. Congratulations, lad. You need to get yourself booked up for Q School next year. It's calling. I want to be commentating on your games in a few years' time, Chris. As Ratajski, he's going to go for tops here. Needs double 10, which he gets. And that's a 7-1 lead for Krzysztof Ratajski, who is 3 legs away from a comprehensive win against Johnny Clayton. Dimsey's asked, what's your highest checkout, Josh? In fact, funnily enough, I think my highest checkout was a 112. And that was quite recently. It's either 90 or 112. But yeah, the 112 I got quite recently, actually. Still haven't hit a 180 yet. I've been very close. There was one day where I think I hit 2 140s within the space of 5 minutes. But the darts that I've been using, those Phil Taylor ones, I've really started to kind of practice with them. I tend to usually play 1 or 2 games a night before I go to bed against an online trainer, just practicing. And it's just one of those where, in the end, for me, it's helping out massively, just practicing all the time. Obviously not doing great, not going to be saying like I'm averaging 60, 70, I'm still averaging shit scores, but I always like to have a day where I practice for an hour or so, just practicing at the board, and I feel like I'm hitting a lot more trebles, and I feel like my throw's still a little bit dodgy, but I'm hitting 20s more as well, which is, of course, quite crucial to becoming an average player at best. There's Johnny Clayton. Gets 100 to leave 148. Ratajski at 164. Treble 20, treble 18 bull needed. Which he's not going to get, so Ratajski will just set up. And he gets 140 to leave himself at 24. So Clayton here going to have to check out the 148. Gets 18. Gets 20, which means Ratajski's coming back here for an 8-1 lead. 3 darts at double 12. You'd expect him to get it with the way he's played tonight. First dart just a little bit too high, but he's quite a good marker. And the second dart's in, and that just proves how well Krzysztof Ratajski is playing tonight. And all Johnny Clayton can do is nod in approval of how well Clayton is playing. Ratajski is playing. Because this is probably the best Ratajski's played for quite some time. I don't think I've seen as much of a dominant performance as he smacks in a 180, and he might be on for another 9-darter. Although Clayton looks to respond, and he was about to get a 180, but one of his darts ricocheted, which means he does get a 140. So there'll be no 9-darter for Ratajski as he hits 20 with his first dart, but he's averaging 111.54. It's probably one of the highest averages of this tournament so far, if not the highest. And fair play to him, because this is a dominant performance, and most importantly, a deserved result. With the way that Ratajski's played, he's been brilliant in this game. Really, really good from him. Although saying that, he only gets 58 there to leave 163, which means Clayton has the advantage as he rattles in a 140 to leave 141, which means he's going to have at least 6 darts, Clayton, at the 141. Sorry, he'll have 3 darts, actually, because Ratajski will get himself down to a checkout. So Clayton here, treble 20, treble 19, double 12 needed. Gets the treble 20. Doesn't get the treble 19, which means he needs the bull. And he goes for 10, which means he leaves 52. So treble 13, double 12 for a 9-1 lead. Gets 13, which means 18, double 16. 1 dart at double 16. Which he doesn't get, which means Johnny Clayton has a chance here to check out on the 52. 20 double 16. 12 tops, whatever he wants to go. He'll go for the double 16 route, which he gets. And that is a leg on the board as we go into the second interval. 8-2 in this match. And Johnny Clayton has got the biggest mountain to climb in this tournament. But this game isn't done yet. Krzysztof Ratajski 8-2 up. Might still be quite some way to go in this match if Clayton can get a few legs on the board. But he always knows he's going to be under the cosh if Ratajski gets 1 leg back in the match. We'll talk about that in a little second. We'll also talk about Brendan Dolan Whitlock, which is back underway. Brendan Dolan leading 6-5 in that match on stage number 2. We've had other games going on today already. Luke Humphries beating Clearmaker for 10 legs to 4, as well as Devin Peterson beating Peter Jakes 10 legs to 4. That's on stage 2. And then our first match of the night on the main stage, Dev Chisnall beating Alan Sutar 10 legs to 8, not sets, as I keep bloody saying. But Daz has asked, what's your favourite double? Double one. Nah, I like tops. Tops is nice and easy, isn't it? You get the practice eventually just landing tops all the time. That I kind of need to practice hitting another double at some point because I can't just sit there hitting tops all the time, can I? And then Chris put Dolan, always one of them, hard to beat. Although saying that, Whitlock has just made it 6-6. So let's have a quick talk about what's been going on in the Ratajski Clayton game, because it is 8-2 in that match. The Polish Eagle currently ranked 14th in the world, flying in this match tonight. And Johnny Clayton's got a lot of work to do. You know, as I said, regardless of the fact if he wins the next 3 legs on the bounce, if Ratajski wins the next leg, he's going to have to win every single leg in the rest of the match. So it's always going to be a very, very precious situation here for Johnny Clayton, regardless of what Ratajski does. But the Polish Eagle, he averaged 104.91 in comparison to Johnny Clayton's 96.87. So certainly increased the average, Johnny Clayton, in the last few moments. He was at 91 in that first kind of few legs. Now he's up to 96, so a slight improvement. But it's the checkouts. I mean, Ratajski dropped off a little bit, you have to say, in the last 5 sets. But he's still checking out 53.33% on doubles. That's 8 out of 15 on doubles. As for Johnny Clayton, he's currently checking out 28.57 on doubles. That's 2 out of 7. So realistically, Clayton really does need to improve on his doubles here, because if Ratajski keeps hitting on doubles, which he has done for a large amount of this match, then you would probably expect this game to be done within the next 5 or 10 minutes, maybe even less than that. As for the other game, on stage 2, Devin Peterson already going through earlier, 10 legs to 4 against Peter Jakes. But this match between Brendan Dolan and Simon Whitlock has just gone 7-6 Dolan. And he was absolutely flying, Brendan Dolan. First 5 legs was pretty much 4-0 up in the game. Simon Whitlock then got 2 legs back on the bounce. But he now finds himself trailing again to Brendan Dolan. That game is quite an interesting one, because Brendan Dolan's only averaging 92.64, Simon Whitlock averaging 97.11, but like I said before, ultimately it is the checkouts that is causing Whitlock a bit of a problem. 26.09% on checkouts, that's 6 out of 23 on doubles for the Wizard. As for Brendan Dolan, only 35%, 7 out of 20 on doubles on checkouts as well, which does make you think it's quite surprising that Brendan Dolan is a little bit ahead in this match, but he's not ahead by much of a distance. And if Simon Whitlock can continue to play as he is, so get his average up a little bit higher, then you would expect that one maybe to go all the way, which is certainly looking like it will. But Brendan Dolan, if he does go through, will definitely move back into the top 32, that's for sure, as well have plenty of movements in the PDC order of merit over the next few days of action here at the Ladbrokes Open. But don't forget, if you are new to the stream, please do leave a like and subscription if you haven't already. I know there's lots of you in here tonight, so thank you so much for all of your support. We are trying to push towards 2,000 subscribers on the channel, which is absolutely mad I'm saying that, because we've hit 2k subs in like a year and a quarter, which is bonkers. So thanks for all of your support. But I will be covering tomorrow night the semi-finals and the finals of the UK Open. So I will be live from 7:10. But don't forget, if you're looking for a bit of football action, Kieran D, he's going to be live tomorrow from around about 4:25. Manchester United taking on Manchester City in the Manchester Derby. That could be quite a good game indeed. You'll have to find out, of course, with all of that Premier League action going on tomorrow. But we're back underway here. Ratajski, 8-2 up on Johnny Clayton. And I'm very disappointed tonight. You're going to see me refill my drink. There is no gin, which is not like me. But I didn't go and get any gin in the end. I actually opted to not buy gin, which is a little bit mad from me. But I'm going and buying some tomorrow. We'll make up with a few more drinks on the final tomorrow. That's for sure. Daz has asked if you got your spray for the 180s. I would do it, but I don't want to burst your ears, because I've turned the microphone up. The microphone is loud. And yes, for those of you wondering, I'm having orange juice and lemonade tonight. Quite a different mixture in comparison to gin and lemonade, but it will do. It will do. So 8-2, Ratajski. He's down to 170 here. Clayton at 217. Of course, as well, we will have the draw a little bit later on, so don't go anywhere once these games are finished, because we will cover the draw for the quarterfinals too. Looking forward to that indeed, to see who gets drawn out against who for tomorrow afternoon's action. Might be a little surprise stream in the morning. You'll have to see. It all depends what time the dart starts and if I'm up. But you might see like an hour or two of darts action. You never know. But Ratajski down to 72 here. Clayton at 1-2-4, which means Treble 14, double 16 for a 9-2 lead. One dart at tops for Ratajski, which he gets, and it's a brilliant marker. First dart, really nice and high into the bed on the 20. Brilliant marker to lay that third dart into the tops, and it's right into the bottom right-hand corner of the bed, pretty much, nearly. And it's a 9-2 lead, which means Johnny Clayton has got to win every single leg on the bounce if he wants to go through. Whitlock's just made it 7-7 in his game against Brendan Dolan. And he's actually looking on course to take the lead for the first time in that game in the 16th leg, which is mad. Absolutely mad. But there's lots of you in here tonight. Thank you so much for all the support. I know, I'm guessing that, of course, I think Clash of the Tungsten's live. I'd assume the Darts Referee is live. I guess maybe Edgar TV might be live doing this. So if you have chose to come here to watch tonight, a massive thank you, because there's much more experienced people out there covering the darts tonight. So if you have chose to come and follow it in here, thank you very much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Because I'm not the most experienced with darts. And I know the other guys out there, Clash of the Tungsten, Darts Referee, and that, they're better than me. They know their darts. I know a little bit of darts, but not all of it. I haven't got the knowledge, unlike some of them possess. But 182 here for Johnny Clayton, as Whitlock's just taken the lead for the first time in that game against Brendan Dolan. 8-7 in that match. With the way Whitlock's been playing in the last 5 legs, you would probably expect Whitlock to maybe go on and win that match. Not comfortably, but you'd expect him to go on and win it with the stats of that game so far. As Clayton's on for a 52 checkout, which he gets, and he puts himself 9-3 in this match. And of course, he's got to win every single leg now to keep this game going. All he can do at this stage of the match is just get himself a few more legs on the board, keep Ratajski on the stage for as long as he possibly can, and hope that the Polish Eagle gets a little bit frustrated. Although saying that, it might also fire him up as he sticks in a 140 to start with 3-6-1 in this 13th leg. Clayton getting 60, and it's just those little moments there where you think to yourself, you've just got a foothold in the leg, Clayton. Is that kind of a bit of an acceptance that he's going to be going out of the tournament? He's got 100. So Ratajski at 261. Clayton at 301 here. Clayton again, only 60. Which means Ratajski, if he can get himself a 140, he could put himself in a really, really good position. Gets himself a 20. Then a 19. Really needs a treble here, which he does get. Gets treble 18. So he is a 168. Johnny Clayton at 241. Gets himself 100. Which means Clayton's going to have 6 darts here to check out the 141. You would assume, unless Ratajski can get himself a big score here. He's at 168. Gets himself a chance at a 140. Which he only gets 100 to leave 68. So Clayton here, 141 checkout chance. Treble 20, treble 19, double 12 needed. And he's not going to get it. And I think that's an acceptance of defeat. So Ratajski here, treble 20, double 4. To win the game. Gets 20, which means he's got 1 dart at double 16 for a 10-3 victory. Which he doesn't get, which means Clayton will be coming back here. Dolan Whitlock is 8-8 now on stage 2. And well, kind of sums up Clayton's performance tonight, hitting 5 with his first dart. And he's accepted defeat here. And surely now, with double 16, with 3 darts in hand, Ratajski will be going through to the final 16 of the match. And he does. What a performance from Krzysztof Ratajski. I mean, that was brilliant from the Polish Eagle. Really, really good performance in the end. A dominant game where He pretty much won the first 6 or 7 legs on the bounce. All Clayton could do is get himself the odd leg here and there back to make sure that it wasn't going to be a demolition from the Polish Eagle. And even then, it still turned out to be one of the dominant performances of this tournament. And we saw Johnny Clayton, of course, beat Dirk van Dijvenbode 10-3 in the last round. Johnny Clayton bows out 10-3 to Krzysztof Ratajski. And look at the reaction for the Polish Eagle. He is absolutely vexed from that victory. Fair play to him, because it was a brilliant, brilliant performance in the end. And we'll talk through all the stats of that match in a little moment's time. 10-3 win there for Krzysztof Ratajski. But you might have also noticed there's still one more game that is going on tonight on stage 2. And that is Simon Whitlock up against Brendan Dolan. Whitlock is looking like he's about to take a 9-8 lead in this game. Brendan Dolan currently sat at 1-8-1. Simon Whitlock is on tops. So he's going to have at least 3 darts in hand. I mean, Daz has put, imagine if Whitlock wins, I wonder what the state of the board will be in. Well, I'll tell you what. I know obviously they won't be able to take the board home because of coronavirus and stuff like that. But if he was ever able to take the dartboard home and give it away, whoever would get the board would be a very lucky person, because it'd be an absolute state. But he has got 9-8 up, which means Simon Whitlock is one potential leg away from going through to the next round of the Ladbrokes UK Open. And we'll talk about the game in a little moment, because we'll take a minute to look at some of the content that is still to come on the channel in the next couple of days. You really don't want to miss out, because there's so much still to come. Of course, we're currently watching the 6th round of action at the Ladbrokes UK Open. We'll be back with more of that tomorrow, because we've also got the Manchester Derby. That's live from 4:25. Reaction is with KD. Don't want to miss out on that one if you're a Premier League fan. And then straight after that, at 7:10, I'll be live with the semi-final of the UK Open, as well as the final. Should be a good night of action on Sunday, followed by Monday. What a game this is going to be in Serie A. Inter Milan, taking on Atalanta even. That's from 7:35 p.m. I'll be live with that on Monday. And don't forget, if you haven't put your name down for the UCL FIFA Sim tournament, it's a free-to-play tournament. You don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation to play. It'll be a simmed tournament based on this season's Champions League. If you want to play, then it's free to play. Do put your name down in the comments below, and I will add you to the list of people that are going to be playing along here. But very quickly, Simon Whitlock is down to 32. Chance for 2 darts at double 16, which is missed, which means Brendan Dolan is on 84. He needs to check this out for any hope of going through to the next round of the Ladbrokes Open. He gets 60, which means he's got 2 darts at double 12, and he gets double 12, which means Brendan Dolan Whitlock has gone down to a last leg decider. Whitlock 9, Dolan 9, and an 84 finish there from Brendan Dolan. He puts himself into a very good position to go through to the next round if Whitlock can't hold his throws. So I'll keep you up to date with that one as we go along. Whitlock started with a 140 in that first 3 darts. Brendan Dolan going to do very, very well to get 96, but it might not be enough if Whitlock can get himself a few darts on the board here. Starts with a 20. Gets treble 19 for 57. Gets 2 treble 19. So Whitlock down to 227 after 6 darts. Dolan's going to have to respond with a 140 minimum, I feel, here. Obviously, big moments in the game. Starts with a treble 20. Then gets 20 and 20. So 100 for Dolan. So Whitlock gets treble 20. Gets 20. Another treble would do here for for Whitlock. He doesn't, but he's down to 127. So 127 plays 305. Dolan needs a massive score here, or else you would assume Whitlock will go through to the next round. Gets 2 20s, Dolan, and a 60. So Brendan Dolan down to 205. Whitlock at 127. He's going to have 6 darts in hand here, the wizard, to check this 127 out. He's going to leave himself a setup, actually. Gets 59 to leave 68. Big moments in the game. Perfect response here by Dolan would be to hit a 140. He gets a 60. Good start from him. Needs another one. Looks to compose himself here for a second. Good work from Brendan Dolan. Takes a minute to step back. Gets 19. And gets 98. So 107 for Dolan. 68 for Whitlock. Can he check it out here? Or will Dolan have a chance to steal the game from the hands of Whitlock? He's got 48 left to check out here. Gets 16. One dart at double 16 for Whitlock. And he's got the darts in hand. And Whitlock seals the deal. He's through to the next round, Whitlock. 10-9 against Dolan. Gets the checkout in the end on the double 16 with one dart in hand. And that is a brilliant, brilliant result for Whitlock, who goes through to the next round of the Ladbrokes UK Open. Really, really good indeed there for the Wizard. But let's have a look at the stats of the game between Ratajski and Simon Whitlock for a second. In that game, sorry, not Ratajski and Whitlock, Dolan and Whitlock even is what I wanted to say in the end. But 10 180s in the match for Simon Whitlock. 2 for Brendan Dolan. Currently averaging, well, I'm saying currently averages, but the game is done now. An averaging 98.78 for Simon Whitlock in comparison to the 93.7 for Brendan Dolan. As for the highest checkout of the match, 124 for Simon Whitlock, 116 for Brendan Dolan. Checkout percentage for Whitlock was 29.41. Brendan Dolan's checkout was 33.93. 13. That's 9 out of 23 on doubles for Dolan. 10 out of 34 on doubles for Whitlock, who has gone through to the next round in what was a closely fought battle between Brendan Dolan and Simon Whitlock. And I bet you that Whitlock is absolutely buzzing, because I'm looking at the screen right now and that is absolutely tarnished, that board. Absolutely tarnished. It's ruined by Simon Whitlock starts in the end. But a really close fought battle, that one, which we will change, of course, in a second, to the next game that's going on the second stage, which will be Gabriel Clemens taking on Wade. But we've also got one more match to talk about on the main stage. We just watched Ratajski beat Johnny Clayton 10 legs to 3. 103.52 average for Christoph Ratajski. 96.05 average for Johnny Clayton. Which, of course, is still a very good average for Clayton there, but just not good enough in the end. Because Christoph Ratajski played credible in that game. Really, really good. 55.56% on doubles. That's 10 out of 18 on doubles from the Polish Eagle. That just shows how good he was in this match. As for Johnny Clayton, 37.5% on checkouts. That's 3 out of 8 on doubles. 4 180s each, but not good enough from the Ferret, who bows out of the tournament to the same scoreline that Dirk van Duijvenbode was beat by Johnny Clayton in the last round. So very, very interesting there. But let's change up, because we've got 2 more games coming up. The final game of the night is coming up in a second on the second stage. Gabriel Clemens taking on James Wade. That should be a very interesting game going on in a few moments. But we've also got going on is Chris Dobey coming up against the world number 1 Gerwin Price. That game is on the main stage, and that one will be coming up in a few moments' time, after they do all the interviews and stuff with the players. But when you look on the right-hand side first, let's talk about Gabriel Clemens and James Wade. In terms of how they've kind of performed through this tournament so far, Daryl Gurney losing 10-7 to Gabriel Clemens in the fourth round. Also Gabriel Clemens coming through to Adam Hunt 10-4 on legs. So some tough opponents Gabriel Clemens has had to play quite early on in this competition, and he's done very, very good indeed to get through early on. And then James Wade, he found himself in a spot of bother first of all when he played Ryan Joyce. Nearly lost that game, but eventually won it 10 legs to 9. And then we saw early on this afternoon a really, really good performance from Wade. 10 legs to 7 against Rob Cross, the world number 4. He's out of the competition. And the way it's looking, if James Wade could go on and win this, we might even see James Wade actually move into that 4th place spot in the world. But Gabriel Clemens ranked 29th in the world. James Wade ranked 5th. Personally, in my opinion, if I'm going to predict this game, I think James Wade is going to win it. I think you said earlier in the chat, Chris, one of the best finishers in darts right now is James Wade. And I think, as he said earlier, he's not here to make the numbers up. He's here to give it his very best shot and try and win it. And, well, I'll tell you one thing. He certainly had some good performances so far. So I'm going to back Wade in that match. And I think he'll win it 10 legs to 6. And then, of course, the other game going on is going to see Chris Dobey taking on Gerwin Price. I mean, Gerwin Price so far started the tournament a little bit poor, didn't he? In fact, his first game was against Hudson, which he struggled at first and eventually won it 10 legs to 5 before playing Ricky Evans in a good performance earlier on. That was 10 legs to 3 against Rapid Ricky. As for Chris Dobey, started off the tournament against John Henderson, beat him 10 legs to 6 before beating Brown, who was the only player left in from the first round of the tournament, by 10 legs to 1. I think Dobey getting himself back into form again, ranked 24th in the world, playing up against the world number 1. Don't think he's going to beat him. I think Gerwin Price will come out onto the stage tonight and put in a really good performance, considering that the next player on after that is going to be Michael van Gerwen. But I do think that game will end 10, let's say 10-5. Why not? But that game's going to start in a second, so I'm going to take a quick moment to have a break. As I said, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a moment. But if you haven't seen, we have got a podcast on our channel called the Double Top Podcast, which is available on YouTube. There is going to be another episode very, very soon. So if you haven't seen it, here's a little preview of what happened in the last episode of the Double Top Podcast, which is available on the YouTube channel now. Before we get into that next game, which is going to be Dobey versus Price, which will be in just under about a minute's time. Here's a preview of the Double Top Podcast. Hello everyone, welcome along to the Double Top Podcast. It's episode number 2, and it's been quite some time since we've done the last episode. My name is Josh, and I would usually say that I'm delighted to be joined by my co-host, Chris Welch. However, unfortunately, he's not here today. He's having a little break from YouTube, so fingers crossed we do have him come back again in the next coming weeks. I hope he is doing well if he's watching this. So it's just me, but we've got lots of stuff to talk about today on the episode of this podcast, including a very, very special PDC guest that joined me for a very special interview. It is the one and only Devin Peterson, of course the 31st ranked player in the PDC Order of Merit, who I did do an interview with earlier today, so that's going to be coming up a little bit later on the podcast. But we've also got a few other things to talk about, as you can see at the bottom. I'm going to be talking about the Ladbrokes Masters, which was a few weeks ago. We'll also be talking about the Premier League of Darts. We now know the official 10 men taking part in the competition. And we've also just today, as I'm recording this, we've had a few little bits of information that's come out regarding how the tournament and when the tournament is going to be taking place. And then we'll also be looking ahead to the PDC Super Series alongside the players that have picked up their tour card at Q School in the past couple of weeks. So there's a lot to talk about. Without further ado, I'd usually have a bit of a longer intro. We talk about how things are over the last week. But as I said, I haven't got Chris with me, so it makes it a little bit harder for me to kind of keep this as a longer podcast. So I'm just going to go straight into the first kind of topic. So that is a little look at the podcast. As I said, if you do want to go and watch the podcast, it is available on the channel. Was, of course, uploaded not too long ago, so if you have missed out on it, there's still a lot of relevant stuff in there. I talked about the UK Open and a few predictions for it. I know obviously we're a few days into the tournament now, but it's well worth checking out if you haven't already. But how are you doing, Callum Carter? Welcome to the stream. Is that the quarterfinal? This is the 6th round that's currently going on, Callum. The quarterfinal is tomorrow afternoon, so we are finding out who's going to be there. But of course, we're still waiting for these games to finish tonight before we know who's in the quarterfinal. But of course, you can ask something. Fire away, Callum. You can ask indeed. But hope you're all good, Callum. Welcome to the stream, buddy. But we're on to our next game of the night now. Already underway, Gabriel Clemens against James Wade. Clemens already one leg up in that match. That one's got underway. But we will be focusing here on Chris Dobey, who is taking on the world number 1 Gerwin Price. And I think as a lot of people have been talking about quite recently, is the fact that Gerwin Price, in his interview after his first game, said he doesn't feel like the world champion. You know, he hasn't got the backing of the crowd to be able to roar himself on and keep him motivated as such with these games, which is completely understandable. But at the same time, I think somebody made a very good point. Peter Wright was the world number 1 last year and had, 7-8 months without really having any fans there. But I guess at least he had the first 3 months of fans to kind of jeer him on and support him. Gerwin Price hasn't had any fans yet. So hopefully, the second half of the year, Gerwin Price will have people there to be able to see him and roar him on after being named the world number 1. But it's one of those right now where all Gerwin can do is get out there on the stage, put in his best performances, and worry about the fans later, because the fans will be back. I think, as I said before, they're looking to try and get people back for Blackpool, specifically for the World Match Play. which, as I said, if they are getting fans there, I'm going to try my bloody hardest to get tickets for it, because I've just absolutely backed my got my knee there. Apologies if you heard a very loud bang. But yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can get tickets for that, because I want to go to some darts. It's been too bloody long, hasn't it, for everyone to be able to go and see some darts. So that's kind of the next time they're expecting fans to be back in stadiums again. But Callum's asked, has Vandenberg destroyed his knee more? Because I've not seen him much. Currently, I don't think he has. He's had surgery, as far as I'm aware, Callum. And then I can't put a match on Callum, sadly, because copyright. If I put it on, then this channel's going down, and we've worked bloody hard on it for the last year and a half, 2 years. So I can't put on a match, sadly, because of copyright issues in the end. But if you are wanting to watch it, Callum, if you're in the UK, it is on ITV4. So I would recommend putting that on the side, because ITV4 have got free coverage of it. If not, go on the ITV Hub, because it's also accessible on there if you're looking to watch it in the UK. If you're not in the UK, PDC.TV are showing some of the games as well. In fact, PDC.TV are also showing the second stage games, so you can actually watch Clemens and James Wade as well, if you're looking to that. But 2-0 for Gabriel Clemens in his game. And it's looking like there might be a chance here for Going Price to make it 2-0 in this game as well. Looking for a 180 here to get himself down to 124, which he doesn't get. But 135 will do to leave 169. He's going to have at least 6 starts, you would assume, here at the 169 with Chris Dobey, back up 334. Although 96 for Dobey leaves him 238. So Price with a few opportunities in this game to get himself 2-0 up. And he's just taking a moment to step back here, I think, and compose himself. Gets 20 treble 19, and he's finding a way to get around the awkward dart that he's laid in the 20, and he does very well indeed. Lays his third dart into the treble 20 bed. Does really well there, considering how awkward the darts was. But Callum, my favourite player is Gary Anderson. Massive fan of Gary. Although, just saying that, you said Gary Anderson as well. Honestly, love Gary. As Gary Price does take a 2-0 lead. Checks out 32 on double 8. And the world number 1 puts himself into a very, very good position. And so far, depending on what happens here, Chris Dobey's got to get himself in the mojo quick, because we could quite easily see another game where somebody dominates the match a little bit more than the other. I mean, we saw a fefew moments ago Christoph Ratajski batter Johnny Clayton 10 legs to 3. This might be a chance here for Chris Dobey to get his first leg on the board of the game. Gives himself 2 treble 19s into 20 to leave 187 after 6 darts. Going Price up back at 459. And just have a little blip in this leg. He's only down to 399 after 6 darts. So you'd assume here Dobey's going to get a leg on the board. Spud Peel has put Mervyn King as his favourite player, which is an interesting shout. Very cool, calm and collected, isn't he, Mervyn? Not the type of player you're going to get enigmatic roars of excitement from, is he? Chris has put no words from Mardle and Harrington about Anderson being knocked out. Yeah, do you know what? I'm guessing Anderson will be glad he's not Sky covering it. And it's ITV. Because at least then you've got Chris Mason covering it instead. As Dobey gets his first leg on the board. 47 check out there to go 2-1 in this game. As for the other match, James Wade has got it to 2-2 in the 5th leg already, that one. Still lots of time left for that match. That is the final game on stage 2. Of course, we'll talk about that game a little bit later on when we get to an interval in this match. Both of those games going on very similar times. As Price looks for a 180 here and gets it. So going Price down to 2-2-1. Chris Dobey at 408. And for me here, it's going to be very important for Chris Dobey to just always try and stay one leg behind Going Price. The instant minute you start letting Price kind of push on and get, 2 or 3 legs ahead, you're always going to be chasing the world number 1. And regardless of whether Price is in good or bad form, you never want to be chasing him. Because he's not the type of player to really let much go, is he? If I'm being honest with you. So going price at 81, treble 19, double 12 needed. First dart hits the 3. Second dart hits 18, which means he's got 1 dart at tops. Well, no, sorry, he hasn't got 1 dart at tops. He's got 1 dart, which he goes 420 to leave tops, which he'll have 3 darts on. As Chris Dobey tries to leave himself a good finish. And he only gets 83 to leave 95. So 3 darts at tops here for going price. First dart hits 20. Second dart hits double 10. And that is a 3-1 lead for going price. And this is where the worry starts to kick in my opinion, for Chris Dobey. You cannot let the world number 1 have a 3-leg lead over you. If you go into the break 4-1 down, it's going to be very, very tough to get 3 legs on the bounce against somebody who hasn't been playing at the greatest level in terms of the confidence of his performances so far, but he does tend to progressively get better at tournaments. We saw when he was at the World Championship, he never really played well until it got to the latter stages of the competition. Didn't play really great at the Masters, but was knocked out, of course, by Mervyn King in the end. Callum's put, I hate Van Gerwen, who keeps deleting. No one's deleting your messages, I can see them, Callum. Obviously, you put, I hate Van Gerwen. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like Van Gerwen out there. It'll be interesting to see how he does against de Sousa later on, because that game is going to be a very interesting one. Van Gerwen not really got off on the right foot, has he, so far at the UK Open? I mean, the Mensur Suljovic one is probably his best performance of the tournament so far. But that first game he played was awful. Just couldn't get into a rhythm, could he? Until later on in the match. But game price, up for 109 finish. Got 1 dart at tops here, which he gets. And going price will be going into the break with a 4-1 leg lead over Chris Dobey. And Dobey, he should be very, very worried indeed, because Going Price is putting in a fairly good performance so far in this game. Really, really well done so far in terms of how he's played. He's looked confident on stage. He's looked calm, collected and cool. And honestly, probably his better performance so far of the tournament. But the question is, can he continue in the same vein? Or will Chris Dobey maybe get himself back into the match? We'll have to find out in a little bit. But also going on the other stage is the match between Gabriel Clemens and James Wade. That one currently sat at 3 legs to 3. Gabriel Clemens averaging 92, James Wade averaging 99. We'll talk about a few of those in just a moment's time. But as I always like to say, if you are new to the stream and you haven't subscribed already, then please don't forget to leave a like and a subscription if you haven't. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. We've got more darts content to come in the near future, including the Premier League of Darts, which is in April. So do not miss out on it, because it's going to be fantastic to watch all of these fantastic darts events coming up in the next few weeks. But overall, right now, Going Price, 4 legs up on Chris Dobey. Gabriel Clemens, 3-3. That game is also still underway, so we'll keep you up to date with that as it does go along. But let's talk about the Going Price game, because right now, stats-wise, in that match, as it currently stands, both players averaging over 100 in this game. Going Price averaging 106.24. Chris Dobey averaging 101.05. So a very, very good start to this match for both players, even if Chris Dobey isn't actually getting any legs on the board. And that's purely because Going Price has just been so comfortable and calm when it comes to his finishing. 66.67% on his double so far. That's 4 out of 6. Chris Dobey only had 2 chances. He's got one of them, which means his checkout percentage is 50%. But of course, we'll have to see if it continues on as we progressively go through this game. There's been 2 180s for Going Price and 1 180 for Chris Dobey. As for 140 pluses, 5 for Going Price and 4 for Chris Dobey. So lots of positives for both players. Chris Dobey probably thinking to himself, how am I 4-1 down? But it's purely just because of how well Going Price has been playing so far. Really, really comfortable indeed, and a very, very good performance from the world number 1, as you would expect from a player of his quality. As for the other game, Gabriel Clemens just taking a 4-3 leg lead just a moment ago against James Wade. I was saying earlier, James Wade now averaging over 100 in that game. In fact, he's averaging 100.50 to Gabriel Clemens' 93.22. In terms of the checkout percentages, James Wade, 75% on his doubles. That's 3 out of 4. As for Gabriel Clemens, 44.44% on his checkouts. That's 4 out of 9 opportunities which have been taken at the doubles. As for 180s, 2 apiece, with 7 140 pluses for James Wade and 5 for Gabriel Clemens. So quite an even game so far on paper, this one. This could yet again be another game that does go down to the wire, exactly as you said earlier. But so far, 2 games done on the main stage. 3 games done on stage 2. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen. First game of the night saw Dave Chisnall beat Alan Sutar, one of the surprise candidates of the tournament. 10 legs to 8. Sutar took a 2-3 leg lead at the beginning, but Chizzy got his way back into the match and did very well indeed. Probably one of the best performances of the tournament so far. Christoph Ratajski averaging 100 plus to beat Johnny Clayton. 10 legs to 3. Good performance from the Polish Eagle to demolish the Ferret and knock him out of the competition. And then on stage 2, Luke Humphries, he's into the last 16 after a 10-4 win against Clearmaker. Devin Peterson with a 10-4 win also against Peter Jakes. And then what a game that one turned out to be. Simon Whitlock beating Brendan Dolan 10 legs to 9. That one went down to the final leg. Brilliant 67 checkout, I think it was, from Whitlock to go on and win the game on a double 16. But we're back underway now here between Chris Dobey and Gerwen Price. And this is what I love about the fact that they're on 2 different stages. It allows me the chance to be able to talk about 2 games at once. And it fills the time up. So everyone's a winner then. I can sit there and not even have to run any adverts and stuff. I can just keep the stream rolling, which is very nice. And we can talk about the 2 games going on in the background, which is always a positive indeed. But back underway now. 4-1 as it currently stands to Gerwen Price. I did beat to it, Chris. I'm fast. I'm on the ball today. I've got the chat open on my phone, so nobody's sending any messages and getting away with it very quickly. I'm not responding anymore. I'm just ignoring it. As Gerwen Price smacks in a 180 to get himself down to 45. Chris Dobey at 225 means here he needs to get a 180 of his own to put pressure on, which he does. And he's down to 45. So 2 darts at tops for Gerwen Price. And he only needs 1 for a 5-1 lead. And we were saying about maybe that Van Gerwen game being at 10 o'clock. Might be a bloody 9:30 at this rate. Could be a quick night tonight. Bloody hell. 5-1 in this game now. Dobey averaging 108. Gerwen Price averaging 110. Very good game this one so far. Got to go, Josh. Got a live stream to watch. That's all right, Callum. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to see you in the stream, buddy. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you again in the near future. As Gerwen Price gets himself down to 405. Chris Dobey at 361. Big moments in the game, this. You think to yourself now, if Gerwen Price gets the next leg on the board, you would probably assume he will go on and win this. I cannot see Dobey getting 5 legs on the bounce as he smashes in a 180 to get himself down to 225. Dobey at 318 here. It's surely looking like Dobey is about to go 6-1 down on legs. As he looks like he's about to smack in another 180 going. 140 will do to leave 85. With 6 darts in hand. Unless Dobey can get a 180. Which he gets a 140. And then gets 121 instead. So Price at 85. 2 darts at tops. And he only needs 1 dart. And it's a 6-1 lead for Gerwen Price. And now it's looking nervy for Chris Dobey. This is the performance we've been waiting for. It only took him a few rounds to get in the swing of things. 113 average here from Gerwen Price. Chris putting Price is the man to beat. He's the number 1. So I don't know what MVG is talking about. MVG talking absolute bollocks right now. He's if he wants to do all the talk, he's got to walk the walk. And I know he's won all the countless titles and stuff, but if he wants to do well, he's got to go and win this UK Open and put the pressure on Price and stuff like that with prize money. By the way, James Wade now 5-4 up on Gabriel Clemens in that match. Very, very tight one indeed. As Gerwen Price finds himself 5 legs up on Chris Dobey. This could be another bloody quick night of darts action. I don't know if you remember the night where we did the World Championship and there was only 3 games and it lasted about an hour and a half. I think we're on course for that again tonight. Maybe a little bit more time. But these games are flying by quickly. As Dobey smacks in a 180 to leave 190. Going price at 225. Gets 20, treble 19. And a 19 to leave 96. Sorry, gets 96 to leave 129. Dobey here really needs to get a leg on the board. As James Wade goes 6-4 up on Gabriel Clemens and starts to build the gap between himself and the Belgian. So Chris Dobey's going to be coming back here for 100 checkout. After going price doesn't check out the 129. Treble 20, double 20 needed for Chris Dobey. He's going to have 1 dart at tops, which he doesn't. Which means going price will be coming back at tops. Double 20 needed for a 7-1 lead, which is going to have to go down to double 10. And he gets 7-1 in this game. And he's moving ever so closer towards the next round of the Ladbrokes UK Open. And all Chris Dobey can do now is try and get the next 2 legs on the bounce and make it 7-3. You know, he's going to be a long, long way behind, but it might just give him that bit of confidence going into the interval that he can at least get a few more legs back in the match as he's on for a 9-darter. Gets a treble 20, gets another one, needs another one here for a chance at the 9-darter, which he gets. And we've got a chance for a 9-darter from Chris Dobey. How about that? He might be 7-1 down, but if he can hit a 9-darter here, that would be brilliant. So treble 20 needed, treble 19, double 12. Gets treble 20. He's treble 19. Double 12 for a 9-darter against Gerwen Price, and it's just a whisker away. It's under the ring of the double 12, and that was so, so close from being a 9-darter. We had one in the first round. We still haven't had one in any of the streams we've done yet. But Chris Dobey certainly going the closest. And he should take another leg on the board here. Double 3 needed, which he gets. And he's got a chance here to try and maybe make it 7-3 before the interval. If Gerwen Price makes it 8-2, you'd think that this game's going to be done and dusted within the next 5 to 10 minutes. But as you said, Chris, nothing much Dobey can do with Price in this form. He's been ruthless tonight. And he could be on course here to make a very, very good game look very, very simple for Gerwen Price. Dobey averaging 105 in this game, and it's not enough to stop Gerwen Price, who's averaging just under 110. 109.37 to be exact. It's beautiful darts we're watching here. And, Chris Dobey, great performance from him tonight. He'll look and he'll think to himself, if he does lose this game, I've lost by quite a margin. But my lord, he's putting in a real fight against Price here. And on any other day where Price wasn't checking out, this game could have been much more even. But he needs to get a leg on the board before the break. So he gets 43 to leave 2-3-4. Gerwen Price at 204. So the advantage is with the number 1 in the world, the Welshman, the Iceman, whatever you want to call him. As he's on for a 104 checkout. But Dobey's going to put him under some pressure here with a 140 to leave himself at 94. So treble 20 needed here. In fact, he goes for the 16 route, which means he needs treble 20, double 14, which he doesn't get. So Dobey's coming back here for a 94 checkout to make it 7-3 going into the second interval. Gets the bullseye, which means he's going to have 1 dart at double 16 to make it 7-3. And he's nowhere near. Hits the 16, which means Gerwen Price coming back here for a 78 checkout. Gets 18. 1 dart at tops for an 8-2 lead. And 1 dart is all he needs. 8-2 lead for Gerwen Price. Going into the interval. And the world number 1 is only 2 minimum legs away from going through to the next round of the Ladbrokes Open dominant performance in this game. And although Chris Dobey's averaging well over 100, he just can't seem to match the rampant performance that Gerwen Price is putting in. And he finds himself 8-2 up on Chris Dobey. What a performance from the world number one. But if you've enjoyed tonight's stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. It is greatly appreciated for those of you that haven't left a subscription yet to do so. We are pushing towards 1,900. Well, we're actually pushing towards 2,000 subscribers on the channel now. You've got us up to 1,920, which is brilliant indeed. So thank you so much to everybody. Hopefully we can get to 2,000 subscribers soon. But if you haven't checked out our social media as well, don't forget you can check our social media out. As you can see on your screen now, our social media links. Our Twitter is @the_top corner. And our Instagram is _sportscorner_. Don't forget to check those out if you haven't already. I post out on Twitter whenever we do go live, as well as when we post articles on our website, which is thesports-corner.com, which is available in the links. The links are in the description below. You can check it out. We've got new articles available every single day, including an article that I did on international fixtures being postponed this month ahead of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. So there's a lot of different content on there if you're a football fan. A few darts pieces there on there as well. So do check it out if you haven't already. In terms of content to come on the channel over the next few days as well, don't forget lots of content to still come. As you can see, we've got, of course, 6-round action, which we're covering tonight. We've got one more game to come after this, which is Sousa against MVG. But we've also got the Premier League tomorrow. Manchester City taking on Manchester United. KD is going to be covering that game from 4:25 kickoff at 4:30. And then I'll be covering the semi-finals and the finals of the Ladbrokes UK Open. I'll be live from 7:10 with all the action from Milton Keynes. I think it's in Milton Keynes. As for Monday night Serie A action, sees Inter Milan taking on Atalanta. I'm going to be live again on Monday night, 7:35, for a real mouth-watering Serie A clash. And then if you haven't already, you want to take part in the UCL FIFA Sim tournament, you don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation to play. It is a simmed tournament. It's free to play. There's a cash or gift card prize for the winner of the tournament. If you do want to play, then please put your name in the chat and I will put you down for the tournament, which we will be doing in about a week's or so time. But as it stands, Gerwen Price 8-2 up in this match against Chris Dobey. Very dominant performance in this game. I would try and get up the stats for the match, but I believe it's actually crashed, so I can't even get up the stats of that game. But what I can do is get up the stats of the game between Gabriel Clemens and James Wade, because as it stands, that game is 6-5 to James Wade. Looking very good indeed tonight, James Wade. He's averaging 99.11. As for Gabriel Clemens, 89.93. So not the strongest of averages tonight from the Belgium, but he's looking very good indeed in terms of James Wade's side of the performance, because he's currently 85.71% on his checkouts. That's 6 out of 7 on his doubles. And we were saying before, one of the best finishers in darts, and he's just gone 7-5 up in this game. There's been 3 180s apiece in the match, 10 140 pluses each as well. And in fact, it's 100% on checkouts right now, James Wade. 100%. He might be on course here to break Johnny Clayton's checkout percentage average, which is bonkers. He's 3 legs away from going through to the next round. His highest checkout is 88. In fact, saying that, it's now gone down to 77.78% on his doubles. So there you go. He's not going to be beating Johnny Clayton's average record anytime soon. But we will be back underway in a moment with the other game. Chris Dobey taking on Gerwen Price. We've got one more game to come tonight, which will be Sousa versus Van Gerwen, as Chris has put. Are we having a miscount bingo for Sousa in his game against MVG? We might have to. We might have to indeed, because he loves a miscount, doesn't he? Absolutely loves a miscount. He's terrible at it. But we're back underway here. Gerwen Price 8, Chris Dobey 2, as it stands in this match. And I think the scoreboard has frozen. I hope it hasn't, as Dobey smacks in a 180 to start off the first 3 darts of this 11th leg. How about another chance at a 9-darter? That'd be lovely. He already missed a 9-darter on the double 12 on the outer ring. Gets a treble 20. Gets another one. He's on for another chance at the 9-darter. Oh, he doesn't get it this time. Hits the 20 with his 6-star, and I thought maybe for a second we were about to have another 9-darter chance from Dobey. But he's down to 181 after 6 starts, and it puts him in the driving seat to take an 8-3 lead in this 11th leg. So Dobey down from 181, gets 135 to lead 46. Going price back at 301, which means Dobey will have at least 6 starts here to check out 46. Is he going to go with 2 darts to double 16? First dart misses. Can he put the second dart in for an 8-3? Well, I'm saying 8-3 lead, but he's a long way behind, isn't he? Going price is leading 8-3. To get back into the game at 8-3 is what I wanted to say in the end. Josh so desperate for 9-darter on stream. I am. One day we will get a 9-darter on stream. I don't know when it's going to be, but we'll get one day. I hope. That's the closest we've been. If I started streaming a little bit earlier, when we were in lockdown, we would have had the Peter Wright 9-darter, but who knows when that first 9-darter and who's going to hit it is, because realistically we could have had it from the first round of this tournament, but I don't think that game was actually being shown on TV anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered in the end. But one day, we'll get it. Might even be before the end of this tournament, who knows. But Dobey here at 405. Going price at 456. Price going to get 96 to leave himself at 360. Don't jinx it. I probably have already jinxed it, Chris. It's too late now. As James Wade's gone 8-5 up on Gabriel Clemens. And it's looking like the world number 5 might be about to make his case to become the world number 4, depending on what happens with the rest of this tournament. He's looking very, very confident, James Wade, right now. And who knows? Might even win the tournament. Clayton's out now, so I'll be back in James Wade all the way. As Dobey smacks in a 180 to leave 196. But Gerwin Price is going to match up with a 20, a treble 19, and an 18 to leave himself at 142. So Dobey back at 196. Price is going to have at least 6 starts here at 142, potentially, depending on the score that Dobey gets here. Which Dobey leaves himself at 100. So Gerwin Price, all he can do, leave himself on a decent finish. Which he only gets 62 to leave 80, but it might be enough with Dobey back at 100. Treble 20, double 20 needed for Chris. Gets treble 20. 2 darts at tops for 8-4. Needs it. And doesn't get it, which means chance for 9-3. Treble 20, double 10 for Gerwin Price. In fact, he'll go 20-20 tops. 1 dart at tops might be all he needs here. And it's 1 dart, definitely, that he needs. Smacked into the double 20 bed. And Chris Dobey is 1 leg away from being knocked out. And so is Gabriel Clemens, who's gone 9-5 down to James Wade. And 2 dominant performances by 2 very good players going on right now. As Gerwin Price looks to go through to the next round with a fairly dominant performance here. And another quick game, which means we might have the MVG game within the next kind of 10 or 15 minutes or so. All depends on what Dobey does here. And whether he can maybe just get a few more legs on the board and frustrate Gerwin Price slightly. Dobey at 303. Gerwin Price at 401. But 177 puts him in the driver's seat. Apologies about yawn. Been a bit of a busy one today. Lots of stuff going on the channel as we've said. Gladbach Leverkusen, of course, earlier in the day. We had Dortmund's incredible game. Now we've got darts. It's very relentless right now. And trust me, it's going to get more relentless soon. Depending on what happens in the next few weeks, once I've got some form of confirmation on a certain idea we've got in mind, it might be about to get very hectic all the time on this channel. But I can't say much yet. Might include a lot more watch-alongs in the morning as well. But James Wade has just gone through in his game. 10 legs to 5. Big result for the world number 5. He's looking to try and push to become the world number 4 and take Rob Cross's spot. But it all depends as well on what goes on here for who makes the final 16 between Chris Dobey and Gerwin Price. 9-3 as it stands. Price down to 97. Dobey down to 47. With 2 darts at tops for Gerwen Price. First dart misses, but it's a good marker to win the game. The second dart hits 20, which means Chris Dobey with a chance here to check out 15 double 16 to peg one back. First dart misses, but it's good. I'm not even say good marker, actually a bit of an awkward one. And the second dart hits the double 8, which might actually turn out to be a little bit of a happy accident, because he will be going back to the double 8 again, unless Gerwen Price here hits the double 10 to win the game. He's got 2 very good markers here, Gerwen Price. And the third dart hits 10, which means double 8 for Dobey to make it 9-4, and just continue to really put some pressure on Gerwen Price, and he gets it. Which means we will be continuing on with this game a little bit longer. And you do have to start worrying a little bit if you're Gerwen Price. Could Dobey, especially with how he's been playing in this game, maybe have a chance to get a few more legs on the board? Of course, he's got to win every leg now, Chris Dobey. But especially when he's got match darts and he's not finishing them, the pressure will slowly increase for Gerwen Price. 50% success rate on doubles so far for Gerwen Price. 27% for Chris Dobey. Can he up his game here, Dobey? Or will Gerwen Price be able to seal the deal and win 10-5? Chris has put Wade will be the new number 4 if he wins UK Open. I think there's a lot of people out there bloody praying that he gets himself into the top 4. Is he in the Premier League of darts, James Wade? Because that's one of those ones which, if he's not, how the hell is he not in there? He's one of those players that I'm surprised wasn't in, because I'm pretty sure he was always in the top 10, wasn't he? Even at the end of the year's rankings. So I'm a bit confused as why he wasn't one of the players to make it in. I mean, I might be wrong and he's in there, but I can't remember his name ever being on the list for the Premier League of darts. You've got Cross, you've got Price, MVG, Cross. You've got Price, MVG, Wright, Cross, Vandenberg, Gary Anderson. He's not. No, he's not. I thought he wasn't. How is he not in there? That's one of those where I'm like, he's been so good, James Wade. Crazy, he's not in there. But there's always going to be big players missing out, which is bonkers. But Dobey's on for a 66 checkout here to make it 9-5. Gets it on the double 18, and we continue on again. And Chris Dobey's just got to keep going the way he's going right now. The longer he can keep playing at the very top of his game while Gerwen Price struggles, he might be able to just claw himself back in this match. And he starts off with a 1-2-5 at 3-7-6. Can Chris Dobey continue on in this same form, or will Gerwen Price finally get that little bit of magic that he needs to get himself through to the next round? Both players averaging 100 plus still on averages. 101.16 for Gerwen Price. 100.73 for Chris Dobey. So 2 very, very good players. And the Price here, looking like he's about to take a 10-5. He's down at 189 with Dobey back at 320. Chris will get a 140 to leave 180. But Price will get himself down to a finish first. Needs a treble here, Price, which he doesn't get. So Price down to 129. Dobey at 180. Gerwen's going to be in a very, very good position if he can get a treble, which he does. So Dobey down to 80, Price at 129. Treble 19, treble 20, double 6 needed. Gets the 19, which means treble 20 for the bull. Gets the treble 20, 1 dart at the bull for a 129, and he gets it. And that is a brilliant, brilliant way to win the tournament, win the match. 129 checkout on a bull. Brilliantly, brilliantly worked. Gets 19, treble 20 bull. And that is the perfect way to win the match against Chris Dobey, which both players played brilliantly well with over 100 average, but in the end, just so dominant from Gerwen Price, who finally just gets that belief he needed at the very end to go on and win the match. And the world number one will go through to the next round of the Ladbrokes UK Open with a 10-5 win, which is also the exact same score that James Wade got in his match against Gabriel Clemens, which was also a 10-5 win. I will be back in a few moments when we'll talk through those two games, as well as our last two games, our last game even of the night, which is going to be Jose de Sousa taking on Michael van Gerwen. But as for now, for those of you who haven't seen it, as I said, I had the fantastic opportunity to interview Devin Peterson a few days ago before the Ladbrokes UK Open took place and the PDC Super Series. Here's a little glimpse of what he had to say ahead of his tournament, and we asked him a few very random questions indeed, as you do. Here's what he had to say in a little preview clip of my interview with Devin Peterson, which is available on the YouTube channel right now. Take a look at it. It's good fun. I'm delighted to say today I'm joined by the 31st ranked player in the PDC Order of Merit, and he is nicknamed the African Warrior. It is Devin Peterson. How are we today?
Josh, I'm great, my man, and I'm pleased to be interviewed by you today on your podcast. It's really great.
Thank you very much. First of all, once again, thank you very much for your time indeed. It's massively, massively appreciated. I want to take you back to the very start of your career, and I know it's probably a question you've been asked a lot from many pundits and stuff, but what's the thing that got you into darts? And specifically, to kind of change the question up a little bit, who was the person in your life, whether it be a darts player or somebody in your family, that gave you the motive or the drive to go out there and get your PDC tour card?
I think it was obviously our family, in a sense, as in my dad's side of the family. It's well kind of interviewed that my dad was the kind of driving force behind my career. I remember the one time I was doing South African for the international trials, and I got to a high level. I think I was ranked third, and I never got selected for the team, and then came back and never practiced, never picked up a dart, and kind of lost the love for the game. And my dad said, why don't you just give it one more shot, and just give it a proper shot, you know what I mean? And I think that words, I mean, those small, that little sentence kind of just resonated with me. And my dad's always been in my corner, no matter what I'm doing. Always my biggest critic and biggest fan as well. So yeah, if you were to ask a dad, it's definitely my dad, and he in our family is a legend as well on the dartboard, and in our local community. So yeah, he was my first idol growing up in the sport, and definitely one of my biggest motivating factors today.
And specifically as well, I know you. There's a little look. Not going to give you too much, of course, because it's a fantastic 25-minute interview that I undertook, I said, with Devin Peterson a few days ago. Really, really, really enjoyable interview. Got a lot of questions to him. We had a lot of different questions, of course. I asked him about his walk-on song, Waka Waka. If he had to change it, what song would he pick? Preparations ahead of the UK Open and the PDC Super Series. So it's really, really well worth checking out. If you haven't seen it already, it is on the channel. It's available now. You can watch it as a separate interview on its own. If you want to do that, that's available on the YouTube channel. Or you can watch it as part of the Double Top podcast, which is a darts podcast that me and Chris, who's in the chat right now, do every couple of weeks to cover all of the latest in the world of darts. If you haven't checked that out as well, and you're a big darts fan, then please do, because it's a fantastic podcast we've got going on, which does take place every few weeks, and we'll definitely have an episode again very, very soon after the Ladbrokes UK Open is done, so we can have a talk about everything that's gone on over the last few weeks. And we're hoping as well, fingers crossed, in the future we can get a few more darting guests on to interviews. So very, very good indeed. But let's take a moment to look at those two games that have just finished. Stage 2 is done for the night now. All 4 games have been completed. We started the evening off with Luke Humphries coming up against Clayton. 10-4 win for Luke Humphries. He goes through to the final 16 alongside Devin Peterson, who we just saw on the screen a moment ago. 10-4 win against Peter Jakes. Good result for him, for the African Warrior, who steamrolls into the final 16. Simon Whitlock, on the other hand, found himself in a real battle. 10-9 against Brendan Dolan. He was losing for a large part of the match. Dolan was in the lead for the majority of the game, but by the 16th leg, Whitlock took the lead in the game and eventually would go on to win in a last set decider. And then we saw a moment ago Gabriel Clemens losing 5-10 to James Wade. A really, really good performance from James Wade, who is looking on course to potentially be one of the candidates to maybe even go on and win this competition. He averaged 99.99 in that match. which is a very, very good average indeed. As for Gabriel Clemens, 89.36 average from the Belgian, so not the strongest score in the world by Gabriel Clemens there. Checkouts-wise, 33.33% for Gabriel Clemens. That's 5 out of 15 on his doubles. 90.91% for James Wade. 10 out of 11 on doubles. Really, really good performance there from the world number 5, who hit 5 180s in the match, 14 140 pluses, and 34 100 pluses. As for Gabriel Clemens, he hit 3 180s, 12 140 pluses, and 27 100 pluses. But he just couldn't match the pace of James Wade, who is looking brilliant in this tournament so far. And yet again, another good win against a tough player for James Wade, who will be hoping and praying he doesn't get himself into another tough match. There's some really good players left in the competition. Going Price still in there, potentially even Van Gerwen. He'll be hoping that somebody like Luke Humphries maybe he gets, and that's no disrespect, of course. I think he'll be hoping for a nice easy run through in the tournament. But 10-5 win the end there for James Wade. A very, very good performance overall, and he will definitely be buzzing about that. Now, I'm going to get the stats up again. I can't get the stats up for the Dobey game. I'm not going to lie. The Dobey game has crashed. I can't get the stats up for that match. Let me try again. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me see if I can close the tab. There we go. Let me try again. Might be able to get it up this time. We got it up. There we go. I've got the stats up now. I can actually look at the Dobey game. So in terms of the Dobey game, which did go on a minute ago, you won't be able to see it on your screen right now, but Going Price with a 10-5 win over Chris Dobey. Both players averaging over 100. Going Price averaging 102.07. Chris Dobey averaging 101.31. So both players playing really, really well in this match. But the important stat was the finishing stat. Chris Dobey, 31.25% on his doubles. That's 5 out of 16 opportunities. As for Simon Whitlock, not Simon Whitlock, I've literally just seen him on my screen, so it was the first name that came to mind. But Going Price, on the other hand, 47.62%. That's 10 out of 21 on his doubles. Really, really good performance from the world number 1. Chris Dobey hit 7 180s. Going Price hit 4 180s. There were 18 140 pluses for Chris Dobey in comparison to Going Price's 13 140 pluses. But 100 pluses wise, Going Price hit 34 and Chris Dobey hit 29. With the highest checkout of the match being the 129 that won Going Price the game. 19, treble 20 and a bullseye was the perfect way to finish off the match for Going Price, who gets a 10-5 lead. So we're done for the night on stage 2. And we're very nearly done for the night on the main stage. We've got one more game left to come. And what a game this could be, as Jose de Sousa takes on Michael van Gerwen. Now, I'm not going to lie. I can hold my hands up and say I didn't actually watch MVG's game in his last match against... I think it was the first match that he played against. Was it against Scott Mitchell, I think he played? So looking at it, Scott Mitchell, yep, beat him 10-8 on legs. That was the game where we really struggled to get pace in the match, and of course the important thing for him is the confidence as well, to be able to show on and show why he thinks he's the world number 1. But in the end, good performance earlier on today, 10-4 against Mensur Suljovic, really good performance. Michael van Gerwen in that game, he averaged, I think it was around about the hundreds mark. It was a good performance from him. But ultimately, he's going to have to try and go one better tonight against Jose de Sousa, who has won both of his last 2 games 10 legs to 9. 10-9 against Mervyn King in the first round, which of course was a repeat of the World Championship fixture that I had a couple of weeks ago. Technically months now, isn't it, realistically speaking. And then he also beat Michael Smith 10 legs to 9. Smith once again dropping out quite early in the tournament. So he's had to battle hard so far, Jose de Sousa. Really, really tricky for him, but is he going to beat Michael van Gerwen? That's the question. Usually, he likes a miscount, doesn't he? He loves a miscount. And I do think we might see another situation in hand where we get another miscount. But let's take the main stage off for, stage 2 off for now, because we can, of course, put Sousa and Van Gerwen as the main game, because it is the last game of the night. So we can have that on the screen a little bit bigger for you guys as we get into the last game of the evening. Put your predictions in the chat. It'd be nice to see what you guys think for this one. I'm going to go MVG 10-7 against de Sousa. I don't think D'Souza's going to make it easy for him, but because he constantly miscounts all the time, don't be surprised if he does it again tonight, because it seems to be his awful tendency, his curse, I guess, for Jose D'Souza when it comes to big games. I guess it could be a pressure situation as well, but Chris saying if MVG goes through, he'll be hoping he doesn't get Whitlock. Oh, definitely. I mean, as a neutral, I'd love him to get Whitlock, because it'd be nice to see maybe another very similar game like before when they both faced off against each other last time. And then Chris put D'Souza's name should be the coolest one. Or the worst counter should probably be his nickname, because he's got an awful tendency, as we said, to miscount. But it should be a good game. Regardless of miscounts, regardless of everything else, this should be an enjoyable match to watch. So do sit back and relax, because this could be potentially the best game of the night. I think we've had some very good games today. One of those games being the Ratajski Clayton game, which was just a very dominant performance from Ratajski. But I don't think we're necessarily going to get a dominant performance in this game. I think this one is going to be a lot closer than people maybe would expect. And as I said, 10-9 in the last two games for Jose D'Souza is probably what I would expect again here. But MVG, you never know. He could turn up. We've been waiting for him to turn up yet. You know, Suljevic was a good result for him, but he's been struggling to hit form recently. And he needs to definitely hit form in this game. So yeah, Chris going 10-7 as well. As the game, I think, is about to get underway in a moment. Do put your predictions in the chat. Be interested to see what you guys think for the match that is about to take place in a moment. But this should be a very, very good game. As we get underway, we're off. Jose D'Souza taking on MVG. You can see the scoreboard on the bottom of your screen right now. I've turned it off so I can't see it. So I will be a little bit behind, and I do apologise about that. But don't forget, if you're new as always, please do leave a like and subscription. We're one subscriber away from 1,920. It would be so, so good if we could get to 2K subs in the fastest time possible. As MVG whacks in a 180 to start off this game against Jose D'Souza. And I've got a feeling that Jose D'Souza in this game is going to slow his pace down. We saw MVG struggled against Scott Mitchell with the slow pace of that match. And I've got a feeling Jose D'Souza is going to try and do a similar tactic here of just frustrating MVG with a lower, slower paced game. But is it going to work? That's the question. As MVG is down to 1-8. Daz has predicted 10-5. Callum's back. How you doing, buddy? You're good. Remind me as well, Daz, of your friend's name for the UCL tournament, because I will write that down. Because we'll get him involved as well, because there's a few more spaces left. I'm hoping to fill them up very quickly. If they can be filled up within the next day or two, we'll get the tournament going at some point in the near future. In fact, we've got some free time on Friday next week, so we could even get it done then. But I need those spaces filling up before I bother doing it. As Van Gerwen needs double 16 to take a one-leg lead, which he doesn't hit. So Jose D'Souza, 111 check out for the first leg of the game, treble 19, 14 double 20 needed, gets the 20. Needed treble 17, which means he won't be checking out. Van Gerwen with a chance at 3 darts at double 8 to take the first leg of the match, as I yawn. I apologise. Fucking hell. Busy day, as I said. Doing a lot in the background, of course. It's not just the YouTube content that we're doing right now. Obviously, making all the graphic stuff. It's very tiring at times. Mason Baker, I will put his name down. And Austin, your name is down. I saw you put in the comment section. So you are down for the tournament, my friend. And I'm looking forward to streaming it. Really, really excited for it. Going to be a flat knockout tournament. Although, like the Champions League, you'll get 2 legs. So even if you lose the first leg, you've got a chance of coming back. The only time it's not going to be 2 legs is the round of 32. That'll be 1 leg. Just for the sake of time, because then, we've got, 16 games to get through. That'd be 32 games overall, which would be a hell of a lot of games to get through. But I'm going to do it. Will it be done in the evening, Josh? Yeah, it'll be done in the evening. The way I'm looking at working it is it'll be done over one weekend. So we'll do the round of 32, which will be on like Friday. We'll do the round of 16 Saturday. We'll do the quarters Sunday, and the final. We'll do like the quarters and the semis maybe on Saturday, and then the semis and the final on Sunday. So it'll be over one weekend. Because we did a Euros tournament last year, and we did it literally every day of what the original games were going to be played. So the tournament took, I think, a month to get through in the end, which was fun because it passed a lot of time when we were in lockdown. But for this tournament, it's just going to be over one weekend because if it does well and you guys enjoy it, we will do more tournaments in the future on the YouTube channel. If you, as I said, if you guys do enjoy it, we'll look to do more because it's something I enjoy doing, and most importantly, it's a bit of fun, something different on the channel as well. It's not going to get us views. I don't really care about that. It's just a little bit of fun for you guys as well as a thank you. Because then at least one of you guys will win something as well. Because you've all given us a lot of support over the last couple of months. And if you've been here since the start, you've been here for, what, a year and a half now. As Sousa checks out 54 to get a leg on the board. But we want to give something to you guys back. And let's have a little bit of fun with it. Rather than just giving cash straight away. Let's have some enjoyment out of it and a few videos, content-wise as well. So, covers us both very, very well indeed. But I'm going to be running that. Hence why it's so busy right now. Got so much to sort out. Thanks, Josh. Looking forward to it. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, Austin. Should be a good one. I'm hoping next week. I'd love to do it next Friday because we've got no watch-alongs planned for Friday. So, it'd be great to start it Friday night. Early on in the day. Start it at like 5 o'clock. What are the channel doing for the Euros? I think for the Euros, we're definitely covering them, 100%. In terms of how, I've got no idea. I mean, I really wanted to get us all together for a setup, but of course it all depends on the COVID rules these days and whatever shit's going on in the world, to whether we can actually do that or not. But as I said, I would love to have been able to have got us to do some games together, although it is going to be a little bit trickier to do that. But, I mean, my idea is I really wanted to go and do it in a pub. But that's never going to happen because then I'd have to, of course, ask to be able to do it and stuff. But we will definitely be doing the Euros, that's for sure. Where? I don't know. But it'll definitely be on the channel. But we will sort it out when the Euros come around because they're happening. But I've said, to be fair, if the Euros are taking place in England and fans are allowed, I'm going to try and go and see if we can get tickets. I'm not too fussed, to be honest. I will try. Because, of course, with it being in England, you only get one chance. You only get one chance, so I'm going to try my very best to get tickets. So the sales down to 56. Van Gerwen at 102. Treble 20, 10, double 16 needed for MVG. Guess the treble 20. One double 16, which he doesn't get. Which means a chance here for 16 at tops for Sousa for a 2-1 lead over MVG. Obviously gets the 16 as you'd expect. 2 darts at tops. Which he gets the first dart at tops. And he takes a 2-1 lead for the first time in the game. Chris saying live streaming and let us down as always. Don't be pessimistic, Chris. Don't be pessimistic. Let's have a bit of fun with the Euros. To be fair, the thing is we said we're probably going to cover every game for the Euros. Because we're watching them anyway, we will cover every single game, fingers crossed. So there'll be a lot of us, like, obviously interchanging between each game, but definitely looking to do every single match at the Euros, because even like, let's say North Macedonia, who have made it into the competition, North Macedonia in the Euros sounds like absolute piss. But we love it. We love having teams like North Macedonia there, because you get historical moments for those smaller teams that have just gone to the tournament to enjoy it. And I can't wait for that. It's not just about, England's and Spain's and France and Germany's. It's all about these smaller teams that get a chance at the Euros that maybe wouldn't have at the World Cup. And we're looking forward to that. That's the most exciting part for me. Will there be a fantasy league with the challenge, Josh? Yeah, that is another thing we're looking into. As I said, the next thing for me, when I've got a bit of downtime, is we're looking to do subscriptions on the channel. So you can subscribe, obviously, a little bit extra cash, of course, but you'll get emotes, you'll get exclusive live streams just for subscribers, exclusive videos, kind of like a Patreon on YouTube. So that's the plan we've got. in the near future. It's just something that's going to be working on for the next few weeks. Of course, we've still got so much going on right now. I've got to obviously get time to be able to do it alongside trying to get my uni stuff sorted and stuff. It's mental. Generally, I haven't got time to myself right now. It's hectic. And that finally been a good night. Yeah, it's been a very good night so far, James. Some very, very good games as MVG makes it 2-2 with 94 checkout on tops. Very, very good so far. Some very enjoyable games. That Dobey Price match was a really enjoyable watch. And this MVG Sousa game, I think he's going to be the best of the night. As MVG gets 140 to start the 5th leg. And one of these two players will be going into the break with the advantage. But who's it going to be? Is it going to be MVG? Or is it going to be Jose de Sousa? Both players averaging over 100 right now. 104 for MVG. 102 even for Jose de Sousa. Apparently it finished 2-1 Leicester. Who scored, Daz, in the end for Leicester? Interesting one, that one. So de Sousa, 401. MVG at 261. Is MVG going to take a foothold in this match? Don't forget, we will be covering the semi-finals and the finals tomorrow as well, so do stick around and leave a subscription if you haven't already. As MVG looks to smack in 140, which he does. So MVG down to 121. With de Sousa at 341. Should surely mean here MVG takes the 5th leg of the match, the 3rd one to his name. Unless Jose de Sousa can get a 180, which he won't. But a 140 will put him down to 181, which won't be enough. Sorry, 201. MVG though, 1 for a 121 checkout. Double 16. Oh, would have been a brilliant checkout then. Bull, treble 13, double 16. He hits the 16. But he will be coming back for 3 darts at double 8. Big moments in the game early on here. Big confidence boosting win for Leicester. They needed it, don't they? They absolutely needed that. Are you doing the draw after this? I will be, yes. We'll watch the draw to see what goes on. But MVG, he checks out the 3 darts, the double 8. And he's finding himself in a little bit of a battle here between Jose de Sousa. MVG's 3-2 up in this game. As for Jose de Sousa, even though he's averaging over 100 right now, he's got some work to do if he wants to get something in this match. Let's take a quick look at what's still to come on the channel. If you're wondering, well, what other stuff do you do on this channel? We do live watch-alongs for sports. We've got darts. We've got F1 coming back soon. Football, of course. We've got a whole host of other sports that we cover on this channel as well. And coming up in the next few days, of course, we are covering right now. It'd be great if the bloody thing came up. Give me 2 seconds here. Let's try again. No, it's not coming up. Give me 2 seconds here, ruining my mojo. There we go. We've got coming up, of course. You're watching the 6th round of action right now. It didn't want to come up, did it? Bloody hell. You're watching the 6th round of action right now on the channel. We will be back, of course, with the final tomorrow. But Premier League action sees the Manchester Derby at 4:25. You can see live reaction with KD on the channel. That's tomorrow afternoon. Then I'll be live with the semi-finals and the finals of the Ladbrokes UK Open. We'll be live from 7:10 on the YouTube channel. Don't miss out on that. And then on Monday, I'll be back again. Can't get enough of me right now. Inter Milan taking on Atalanta in the Serie A. 7:35 kick-off, 10 minutes after that. And don't forget, if you want to join our free-to-play UCL FIFA Sim tournament, you don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation to play. There's a it's free-to-play tournament. There's a cash/gift card prize for the winner. If you do want to play along, then please do put your name down in the comments below. I will put your name down because spaces are running out very, very quickly. And I am looking to do this tournament on Friday night. So if you don't put your name down soon, the spaces will be all full up and we'll just do a 24-man one instead. But as for now, as it currently stands, Jose de Sousa 3-2 down to MVG. Let's take a look at the stats of the match so far. Jose de Sousa, or Sousa, however you want to pronounce it. He's currently averaging 104.21. MVG averaging 103.17. So both players playing very, very well in terms of the averages. But for checkouts-wise, not the MVG you'd expect. 10 opportunities at doubles, only 3 taken for a 30% checkout stat. As for Jose de Sousa, his is 66.67. 3 opportunities at doubles, 2 of them being taken. 66.67% on his checkouts. There's been 2 180s for Jose de Sousa, 1 180 for MVG, with 4 140 pluses for MVG and 7 140 pluses for Jose de Sousa. So when you look at the stats, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how is MVG in the lead? Just been fairly decent so far, and I'm guessing in a game like this, Jose de Sousa, even now, might have to up his level a little bit, depending on what goes on. But the same can be said for MVG. Because it's the last game of the night, I do get a little moment to take a break. So I will be back in 2 seconds. And then we'll cover the second section of this match between MVG and Jose de Sousa. But as it currently stands, it is 3 legs to 2 to MVG. Back in a second. And we are back underway with the action between Michael van Gerwen and Jose de Sousa. Thank you very much for those of you that did stay. Just needed a quick toilet break. Of course, when you're on for 3 hours, it is a very long stream without, of course, getting a little bit of time to just stand up, take a stretch, and a few things like that. So thanks for those of you that did stay in the end. And thanks for those of you that have subbed and liked, because there's a lot of you in here tonight subbing and liking. So thank you ever so much indeed. But Michael van Gerwen, he's down to 84. Jose de Sousa, 270. Chance here for MVG to take a 2-leg lead over the special one. With treble 20, double 12. Starts off with a 1 MVG, so he'll go treble 17, double 16, which he gets. And that's a brilliant 84 checkout. Makes up for the one mistake that he had on the single one a moment ago. And he gets the break of throw as well. And this could be a pretty significant moment in the match if MVG can just take a little foothold of this game, especially now he's got the break of throw. But I will be covering the actual draw for the next round after this game has finished. I would assume it will be done fairly quickly after this match is done. So I don't think we'll have too much time to sit there and kind of wait for it. But we'll find out, of course, who's playing each other tomorrow in the quarterfinals. But then I will be back for the semi-finals. So you don't want to miss out on it tomorrow night, because we've got the semi-finals and the final being played, which is very exciting indeed to see who's going to win kind of the first big competition of 2021. We had the Masters, which Johnny Clayton won. He won't be winning that. Will MVG be holding on to his title? Or is there going to be somebody different holding on to it? Is it going to be James Wade? Is it going to be Simon Whitlock? Or is it going to be Going Price with the first tournament of the year to his name? But MVG here. Currently at 1-2-1. Jose de Sousa all the way back at 3-4-2. Going to get 100 to leave 2-4-2. So chance here for a 5-2 lead for MVG. Gets the bull, which means he needs treble 13, double 16. Doesn't get the treble 13. But he will leave tops. What can Jose de Sousa do here? Going to have to try and get a 180 in my opinion, which he won't get. And 99 will only leave 1-4-3. That's who I think is going to win this. I think MVG is going to win it. But he's leaving himself in an awkward position here, because he's got himself down to 10. Jose de Sousa is just slowly being allowed to get a few more points on the board here. Needs treble 17, double 16 for a 1-4 free checkout. Gets 17, which means there'll be no checkout for Jose de Sousa. And MVG will be coming back at 10. 3 darts at double 5 here. Surely got it ended in this time. First dart a little bit high, but a good marker. Second dart doesn't hit. And the third dart hits 5. Well. MVG. Not been necessarily convincing yet in this game. And MVG might have just given up the leg here. 56. No, doesn't get it. So MVG is going to have a chance here to come back to check out 5. Obviously, 1 dart. He's already going to be hit the single 1, so he'll have 2 darts at double 2. Which he hits 2. 1 dart at double 1, which he doesn't get. Well, this is not fun to watch, is it? This is not what you want to see from MVG. He can't finish, and he's careless. So can Jose de Sousa hit the double 10? He does. And on a leg where you think to yourself, MVG should have had it in the bag. Jose de Sousa makes it 4-3, and I don't think even he expected that, with a real shake of the head from MVG, who, well. That's one of those moments in his career right now where you look at it and you think to yourself, that is not the MVG that you would usually expect to see. But I guess, is this the MVG that we know now? Or is it just a ridiculously long blip? One of the two. I guess we'll have to see over time. I wonder if they will do the draw for the final. Who knows? They're going to do it like the Champions League, where they just draw all 16 gazillion rounds before they've even been done. Honestly. It's crazy, isn't it, with football, the way they do draws these days. But Jose de Sousa, down to 320 yet. MVG at 4-2-1. You think to yourself, if Jose de Sousa can make it 4-4 in this game, it's going to be quite interesting to see whether MVG can keep confident and calm, because you can see right now, if you're watching along, there is some real frustration beginning to build for MVG. He is not happy. De Sousa gets 140 to leave 180. MVG back at 379. Gets 19-20 and treble 18 to leave himself at 286. So a chance here for De Sousa to leave himself in a good position to check out, probably as well, with 6 darts in hand. Gets 100 to leave 80. MVG probably going to need a 180 here. Gets treble 20. Gets a 1. And gets a 19. And it means De Sousa will have at least 6 darts at that 80. He should surely make it 4-4. He's going to end tops, I think. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant from Jose de Sousa. Goes tops to make it 4-4. Brilliant. That is what you love to see. I mean, it's one of those where you think to yourself, why is he going for it? And he's gone for it in the end, and it's brilliant. As MVG's on for a 9-darter here. MVG being on a blip for 2 years, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's a never-ending blip, isn't it, right now for him? But he might be on for a 9-darter. First 3 darts hit the treble 20. Then his 4th, but not his 5th. Which will put him down to 2-2-1 after 6 darts. De Sousa at 3-6-7 in this game. Can he get the confidence back? Michael van Gerwen desperately needs it right now. Especially after the few moments he's had in this game where he's just gifted De Sousa opportunities to get legs on the board. I mean, of course, that kind of leg 2 moments ago where he just gifted it him, considering he was about 200 points behind him, somehow gave De Sousa the leg. It's mad, isn't it? Not the MVG we know. But he's down to 84 here, and he finds himself in a very similar position to what he did a few legs ago. He's going to have 3 darts here at 84. Treble 20, double 12. He gets 20. In fact, he's at 1-2-4, sorry. Scoreboard mistake from ITV there, I think. Now he's down to 24. So he will be coming back either way here. Double 12 needed for MVG. 3 darts in hand. And he only needs 1 dart for 5-4 lead. And that might just be a little bit of confidence booster that he needs. You can see there the little head movement A little bit of a nod from him, thinking, I can get into this game and really take it to Sousa. And he gets that leg he needs on the board. 5-4 now. And Jose de Sousa just looking calm, no reaction. As you would expect, he's not really a massively passionate player in terms of reactions to Sousa. He reacts from time to time. It's more necessarily in breaks of play and after matches. Not one of these players to really go around fist pumping and jumping about and celebrating. He keeps calm. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. And, you know, I wouldn't even say slowing his play down. I think this is the way that Jose de Sousa plays. He's got a very calm rhythm. Obviously, MVG might find it a little bit hard to play to the much slower rhythm that Jose de Sousa does. I mean, you've only got to look in the past, and every time MVG tends to play somebody who plays a very similar pace to him, it usually turns out to be a ridiculously good match. I mean, the Ricky Evans match at the World Championship a few months ago was an absolutely bloody good game to watch because both players were playing incredibly well and they're just so quick to watch. It's unbelievable. But de Sousa down to 90. MVG is back at 210, which means 6 darts in hand here for de Sousa. Treble 20, double 15 needed. He's going to go the 18 route, which means double 18 is exactly what he gets. 4-5 all at the second interval of play, and that is exactly what Jose de Sousa would have wanted going into the break. Big confidence boost to that. He finds himself on par with MVG. 5 all in the match. This one's got a long, long way to go, I think. We'll have to see what happens when they come back from the break. But let's have a look at the stats of the match because so far in the game it's been quite an interesting one to watch. MVG not really playing to the very best standard in the world that you would expect from him, but I guess we've probably been saying that now for the last 50, 60 games that he's played. Just not really being able to be the same kind of, I don't know what the best way to put it is, the same velocity and approach to his performances, the ruthlessness that we'd expect from a player who's ranked second in the world. Currently, in terms of the averages, he's now under 100 MVG. He's averaging 98.38. Jose de Sousa averaging 100.40, so still up there with a very high average in the match. Checkout-wise, MVG still 25% on his doubles. That's 5 out of 20. Not the best stat in the world for somebody who is usually very ruthless at his checkouts. As for Jose de Sousa, 62.5%. That's 5 out of 8 on his doubles so far. Very, very good from the special one and really well performed to get back into this match. There's still only been 2 180s from de Sousa, 1 from MVG. As for 140 pluses thrown, 11 for Jose de Sousa and 9 for MVG, with 22 100 pluses for MVG and 21 for Jose de Sousa, with the highest checkout of the match being a 94. Still haven't had a ton plus finish yet on the board. We'll be back in a moment to cover the rest of tonight's action between de Sousa and MVG, but as you can see on the right-handed side of your screen, the games we've had so far tonight, of course, all of the games pretty much done dusted, apart from this one. Dave Chisnall with a 10-8 win against Alan Sutar, who's been fantastic in this tournament, but he bows out in the 6th round. Krzysztof Ratajski with a 10-3 win over Johnny Clayton, a ruthless performance from the Polish Eagle. Chris Dobey losing 5-10 to go in prize, really good performance from the world number 1, both players averaging over 100 plus, with this game between Jose de Sousa and MVG currently 5-5. I am just going to refresh Flash Score because it's been an absolute fucking prick tonight and not wanting to work. So I'm just going to very quickly get that back up on the screen and sort that out because it's been a bloody nightmare and very useless. There we go. It should be 5-5 for you now. As for the other games on stage 2, Luke Humphries with a 10-4 win against Clearmack. A good result for Luke Humphries. One of the lower ranked players left in this tournament. Devin Peterson, the African Warrior, with a 10-4 win over Peter Jacks. Really good win for him. Whitlock, closest match of the night so far. 10-9 against Brendan Dolan. He was not in the lead until the 16th leg of the match before the Wizard got himself through with a bit of Australian magic to get through to the next round. And then James Wade with a very comfortable 10-5 win against the Belgian Gabriel and Clemens, who just never really got fully going in that match. James Wade with 90% checkouts. Brilliant performance from the world number 5, who could become the world number 4 if he wins the Ladbrokes UK Open. Long way to go, though, in this tournament. We'll be back in a second. We're going to be covering, of course, the rest of this game alongside the draw for the quarterfinals, which will take not long afterwards. But we'll be back in about 15, 30 seconds. Well, probably a little bit more than that. Quickest break you've ever seen or what? We're back. Boom, look, just like that. Wasn't even going to take that long. Very, very quick indeed. We are back underway again with the action here at Milton Keynes. Ladbrokes UK Open. Final game of the 6th round sees Jose de Sousa taking on MVG. It's 5-5 as it currently stands in this match. But there's a long way to go. MVG not looking convincing as per usual in the last few kind of months. Jose de Sousa looking calm, looking composed. But I don't know whether that's going to be enough for him here in this game. Both players playing very well indeed. MVG just averaging under 100. Jose de Sousa averaging over 100 just in this very, very tight match. Where both players are having little spells in the game where they're taking the lead. And then the other players just kind of clawing themselves back into the match. As MVG is in the driving seat here to take the 11th leg of the game. He's currently down at 168. Jose de Sousa back at 301, although he's going to get down to 167 himself. Who's going to take the lead in the match? Going to be a good setup there from MVG. 128 leaves tops. So Jose de Sousa is going to have to try and check out the 167, which he won't be able to. Which means MVG is going to be coming back here for tops to take the lead in the match again. But Jose de Sousa will set up well, leaving himself double 15. But will MVG let him in? First dart, good marker. Second dart, good marker. Third dart is in. And that's a 6-5 lead for MVG. Who just needs to, in my opinion, get 2 legs on the board in a row. And that will mean that just Jose de Sousa is chasing. I don't think right now he wants to be in a situation where it's kind of 6-5, 6-6, 7-6, 7-7. You want to get away from Jose de Sousa. Escape, because right now he's very, very close behind. He's breathing down MVG's neck every single leg. And it just seems to be every leg MVG wins, Jose de Sousa wins the next one. Which in the long run will mess up one of these players, but of course, I said if MVG can make it 7-5, it will make life so much easier for him in this game. De Sousa at 360. MVG also getting himself 360 after 2 darts, 6 darts even. Now down to 320 MVG. Big, big moments in the match, these. 140 for Sousa puts him to 220. It's going to be very tough here. MVG might need a 140 of his own, if not a 180, which he'll match up. In fact, he won't. He'll get 100, which means both players keeping close to each other, both on 220. Very, very interesting game, this one. Just a sense here that maybe de Sousa is about to make this 6-all. He's down to 80. MVG at 220. Is he going to match the special one up? He won't. He'll get 135, but that will do, unless de Sousa can get the 80 here. He checked out on tops. He's going to go for it again. Now he's going to have to go for 1 dart at tops after hitting 220s, which he doesn't get. And it means MVG with a chance at 85. Treble 15, double 20. To go 7-5 up and really take a foothold of this match. And he gets the ball. Interesting way to go for the 85 there. But he goes 7-5 up in the game. And that is a real big fist pump from MVG, because he knows now he's got that little bit of a foothold in this match. And Jose de Sousa is now going to be searching, and this is where he comes to life. There's the 180 for MVG to start the 14th... I think it's 13th leg of the match, isn't it, this one? Who's the real special one, de Sousa or Mourinho? I think it's always going to be Mourinho, isn't it? It's always going to be Mourinho, regardless of whether de Sousa thinks he is or not. But there's not going to be a 9-darter here for MVG, but he has got himself, I think, 137. Puts himself down to 184 after 6 darts, and now he's looking like he might be able to take 3 legs on the bounce here and go 8-5 up on Jose de Sousa, which would be quite a turn of events in comparison to only about 10 minutes ago, where we thought this game was going to be really close to the end. But might have just given him the confidence boost he needs here, MVG. He's down to 90 with de Sousa at 359. No matter what Jose gets, he gets 177. He's still going to be miles behind MVG. Treble 20, double 15 needed. He's going to go treble 18 and double 18, and he gets it for a 90 checkout. And that is an 8-5 lead for MVG. And now you start to think to yourself, is MVG going to be going through to the quarterfinals of the Ladbrokes UK Open? He's not been massively convincing throughout this tournament so far. But you don't have to be to win. You've only got to look at the run that Gerwin Price had at the World Championship. He never really turned up until the final. Could be the same situation here for MVG, who's going to smack in a 180 to start off the 14th leg of this match. He's on fire. Only took him 14 legs to get started. Well, technically about 11 or 12. But Jose de Sousa just going to keep himself calm and collected. He knows he's still in this game. At 266, get one leg back on the board, and there will be a few nerves still in the head of MVG, but you don't want to let him go 9-5 up, or as we always say, you're chasing the rest of the match. And that's what you don't want at this stage. You don't want to be chasing. Especially with a player like MVG. For every 3 legs you win, you'd assume MVG is going to win one of them, regardless of whether he's playing incredibly well or not. So de Sousa, currently with a chance to get himself a 6 leg on the board at 169. MVG, a chance to go with 9 legs on the board. He's at 199. De Sousa on a finish at 72. MVG at 199, which means there's going to be at least 3 darts here for de Sousa to have at that 72. Just go 2 legs behind MVG and just leave this game a little bit more open. Treble 20, double 6 needed. He's going to go down the 18 route. Needs 14 for 1 dart at tops, which he gets, and it's 8-6. This could get interesting. If Jose de Sousa gets the next leg on the board and makes it 8-7, you start to think to yourself, will doubts creep in for MVG? But he's gone again. That's the 3rd leg in a row where MVG started with a 180. He's on for a 9-darter. And I tell you what, a 9-darter would be perfect for him. It's not going to happen. As de Sousa starts with a 58, and you think to yourself here, has he just opened the door for MVG maybe to go and get this 9th leg to his name in the match? Both players averaging just above 100. 100.02 for MVG. 100.35 even for the special one, Jose de Sousa, who rattles in a 180. And he's down to 263. MVG at 264. It's going to be a closely fought contest this till the end, I think, now. MVG going to match up with 100 to leave 164. De Sousa really, really needs this leg on the board, or else it's going to be tough. The special one needs some special magic here to give himself hope of potentially staying in this competition. 164 needed for MVG. Treble 20, treble 18 bull. Gets the treble 20. Gets 18, which means there'll be no finish for MVG. But he's down to 68. Jose de Sousa at 158. 2 treble 20s, double 19. Which he isn't going to get. So MVG's coming back at 68 here. And you would think he needs to take this out with D'Souza even, sorry, at 60. Treble 20, double 4. Gets treble 20. 2 darts to double 4. First dart misses. And the second dart hits 4. Is this going to be deja vu? We saw a few legs ago. MVG struggled at the lower finishes. And eventually Jose D'Souza took the leg on the board. But he doesn't need it, because D'Souza will go 8-7 in the game on a 60 checkout. And yet again, it's another situation where MVG is probably thinking to himself, how am I not one leg away from going through? 64% on doubles so far for Jose D'Souza. He's been very, very good and very ruthless at the points where MVG has switched off, allowing him to still be this close in the match. And he's rattled in a 180 to start this next leg, Jose D'Souza. That means now we've had 4 legs on the bounce where one of the players has hit a 180 to start off the leg. If this match goes all the way, who's got the throw? I think it will be... I think it's MVG who's got the throw, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but we'll have to find out if it does go all the way. It's all detrimental on if Jose D'Souza can get this next leg on the board, because if not, he's going to have to win 3 on the bounce. Make it 8-8 and it's much more interesting. But D'Souza at 200, Van Gerwen at 297. You can tell both players really enthused in a tough battle here for the last spot in the round of 16. Or the quarterfinals at the Ladbrokes UK Open. Don't forget, we will be covering the draw for the quarterfinals straight after these matches have finished. So don't go anywhere afterwards if you want to see who's facing who in the next round of the UK Open, which is tomorrow afternoon, with the semi-finals and the finals taking place at night time. We will be covering the semi-finals and finals on the channel. I'll be live from 7 tomorrow night. So if you have enjoyed the stream so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscription if you haven't already, because we have got so much more dying action to come. Because don't forget, the Premier League is only 4 weeks away. Every night we'll be live. Looking forward to it indeed. But Jose D'Souza here, down to 20. 3 darts at double 10 to make it 8 all in the game. Gets 10, which means double 5 needed. And he hits the 5. And now MVG with a chance at 154. He's going to have to take this out. Treble 20 he gets. Needs treble 18. Which he doesn't get. And he was going for the treble 20 again there, but he doesn't in the end. And D'Souza will be coming back at 5. So 2 darts at double 2. For 8 all. 1 dart at double 1. And he hits the double 20. And now that's a little reaction there from D'Souza. He knows a bit of a nervy moment in this game, because MVG with treble 19 double 6 could go 9-7 up. 1 dart at double 16. And he hits 16. Which means, again, another chance here for Jose D'Souza to come back in this match with 2 darts at double 2 to make it 8 all. First dart, just a little bit under, but a good marker. And it's a brilliant marker indeed, because it's 8 all. And MVG, yet again, allows Jose D'Souza another foothold in this match and a chance to come back. And is this where the belief that MVG has had starts to slowly creep away, because he's not had the most amazing match in the world, and Jose D'Souza, looking calm, composed, relaxed, just keeps matching MVG all the way. How are we doing, Tubbs? Hope you're all good, lad. Fell asleep, it's 6:30 here. I'm hitting the sat for real now. Dang it, Dobey, the house elf lost. He did, yes. He played a great game, actually, Tubbs. He played a really good game against Price, but both players averaged 100 plus, and Price was just bloody ruthless on his checkouts. So Dobey never really got a chance to be able to check out. I think on any other day, a game like that, he'd have probably been well and truly in it. But great performance in the end from Gerwen Price. But MVG, 2 180s back to back. Gets himself down to 44. He's going to have at least 6 starts here. Van Gerwen to go 9-8 up and force Jose D'Souza to win the next 2 legs on the bounce, or else MVG will be in the quarterfinals tomorrow afternoon in Milton Keynes if he can get 12 double 16s, putting 1 leg away. Which he does. And that's the ruthlessness is needed 44 checkout, 9-8 on legs. Jose de Sousa is going to have to win the next 2 on the bounce if he wants to go through to the next round. Been a valiant effort from him. You have to give him credit. There's not been one single point in this game where Jose de Sousa has switched off. He's been alert for the whole entire thing. And most importantly, he's not bloody miscount, which is something he usually does. I mean, he's still got time at the end of the day to maybe make a miscount, but you never know. Are we going to see a chance at a deciding leg here? Because MVG only gets 46 with his first 3 darts. And Jose de Sousa is looking to bounce with a 140. And he's down to 2-2-1 after 6 darts. He makes the most of the MVG mistake. But Van Gerwen is going to get a 1-3-5 to leave 320. Can de Sousa stay composed at the most important part of the match? Only gets 57, which might allow MVG back into this match. Gets a 20 MVG. Gets a 1, and that is a real massive treble he got there. Needed the treble 19 to get the 2-4-2. So 1-6-4 checkout opportunity, which he won't be able to take. But he will leave himself with a checkout at tops. And you would assume here we're going to be heading to a last leg decider. With MVG having the darts. I thought I was right. So tops for 9-all. First dart a little bit high. Second dart a little bit high, but 2 good markers. And he only hits 20. Which means he will be coming back with MVG at 196. Can de Sousa get it though, or will MVG nick this late on in the match? Tubbs says, I'm going to be out, lads. See you later. Have a good time, my Filipino brethren. See you later. Thank you very much, Tubbs, as always. You're absolute legend. So double 10 for Jose de Sousa to go to 9-all in this match. And he gets it first time, and we're going to a last leg decider. Well, I feel like it was inevitable that this game was going to go all the way. But who's going to hold their nerve? Is it going to be MVG, the world number 2? Or is it going to be Jose de Sousa, who, give him credit, has held his nerve pretty much for the entirety of the match? But it's a blistering start for MVG. He gets a 1-4-4 there to start off to leave 3-6-7. Jose de Sousa is going to have to find a few trebles of his own, which he doesn't. He only gets 1 to get 96 to leave 405. Josh, you called this being the best match of the night. I thought it was going to be. It was one of those games on paper where they're both really good players, but with the way MVG is right now, Jose de Sousa, he's not one of those players to sit there and react. He's very calm, he's very relaxed, and although he miscounts, and he's got an awful tendency to do it, he's been brilliant in this tournament so far. And yet again, if he wins this game, this will be another game where he's won 10-9 for the 3rd time in a row. But MVG here is pretty much in a position to win this match now. He's down to 170 with Jose de Sousa back at 270. And you would expect here MVG to go on and win this game, surely. De Sousa really needs a treble, which he doesn't get. And that should surely mean MVG goes on and wins this game. 2 treble 20s in a bull, which he doesn't even have to go for because de Sousa's back at 229. But he's going to go for it anyway. And he tried it. And he very nearly got a 170 checkout to win the match. But he will be coming back for 35. Jose de Sousa looks like it's one comeback too many. And he's still at 188, which surely means now MVG will be taking the game 3-16. Going to take his time here. 6 darts he's got at the double 16. But 1 dart is all he needs. And MVG gets a 10-9 win against Jose de Sousa in what was a brilliant, hard-fought game by both players. Jose de Sousa was breathing down MVG's neck pretty much for the majority of the match. But the world number 2 was just too hot to handle. And in the end, MVG gets himself through to the next round, the quarterfinals, after a 10-9 win against Jose de Sousa. It was a great game overall. Both players probably, I think, averaged over 100, which we'll check in a second. But Jose de Sousa, the special one, is out of the tournament. 10-9 to MVG. And what a game that turned out to be in the end. A real dramatic match it was indeed. And I will update the screen, so give me 2 seconds here. But what a night of action we've had. Lots of drama across the board in tonight's, 6-round games. As you can see on your screen right now, we started off the evening with Dave Chisnall taking on Sutar in a 10-8 battle. And Alan Sutar played brilliantly well in the entirety of this competition, but he just couldn't get himself through to the next round. He was 2 legs up on Chizzy, and in the end, Chizzy was able to come back and win the game 10 legs to 8. Not sets, I keep saying sets. I've got an awful tendency to do it. Still got the World Championship in my head, and I don't know why. Christoph Ratajski, what a performance it was from him tonight. 10-3 against Johnny Clayton. The Ferret never really turned up in this game. The Polish Eagle, who averaged around about 103, was able to steamroll on in this game and knock out the Ferret. And a great performance on the night. But also a brilliant performance from Going Price. 10-5 against Chris Dobey, and probably the best performance of the tournament so far, considering Going Price... he averaged 100, and Dobey did as well. I think Dobey averaged around 103, and it was a really, really good game overall. And you have to give credit, of course, to Chris Dobey in that respect. Played very well indeed. And then, of course, on the main stage, last game of the night, Michael van Gerwen in a 10-9 win against Jose de Sousa. We'll talk about the stats in just a moment's time before the quarter-final draw takes place. As for stage 2, you can see Humphreys 10-4 against Clearmaker. Good result tonight for Luke Humphreys, who has been fantastic so far in this tournament. Really, really good, and he is in the quarterfinals. Devin Peterson, the South African, the African warrior, whatever you want to call him. He's 10-4 against Peter Jakes. Really good performance in the end by Devin Peterson. And he goes through to the next round, the South African warrior, who has been impressive so far. Simon Whitlock in a very close, hard-fought 10-9 game against Brendan Dolan. He didn't lead until the 16th leg of the match, but in the end, he did really, really well indeed and got himself a very, very good victory against Brendan Dolan, who's always a tough player to play against. And then, of course, James Wade, dominant performance from him against Gabriel Clemens. 10-5 in the end, also averaging over 100 with a 90% checkout average. Probably the best checkout average of the tournament so far. Really, really good indeed. Now, what I am going to do for a second, give me 2 seconds here, is I am just going to get everything ready for the quarter-final draw, which will be taking place in a few moments. So let me just sort that out now, and then we will get that underway. Of course, the quarter-final draw taking place in a few moments' time. We will be seeing who everybody's going to be coming up against very, very shortly indeed. But while we wait for that draw to take place, let's just take a quick look at some of the stats from this match between Jose de Sousa and MVG, because it was a really good game overall. Now, in terms of the averages, they actually dropped at the end of the game. 99.72 in the end for Michael van Gerwen, and 97.42 for Jose de Sousa. So he did just drop off at the end of the match, which was expected, of course. It got to a point where I think Jose de Sousa realised he wasn't going to go through because he had a really, really sloppy final leg, and that's what cost him in the end, because overall he played really, really well. Jose de Sousa, he got himself 9 out of 24 on the doubles. That's 37.5% on his checkouts. As for MVG, 10 out of 31 in his doubles. That's 32.26%. There were 10 180s in the matches. 6 to MVG and 4 to Jose de Sousa. And then there were 16 140 pluses and 21 140 pluses for Jose de Sousa. But we are now at the point for the draw for the quarter-final. So this is the big moment. Lots of big players still left in this competition. But John Champion is going to do the draw for the quarterfinals. And it's so exciting. It's like the bloody FA Cup, isn't it? This is why I love the UK Open. You just don't get this situation. But we are going to be getting underway with the draw. And the first person out for the quarterfinals is number 5. And that will be Simon Whitlock, who will play off against number 6, James Wade. Whitlock v Wade. What a game that's going to be. We'll talk about that one in a second, of course. So the next game, Gerwin Price will be playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow against number 3, Devin Peterson. That's an interesting game. World number 1 against the South African Warrior. So the next draw, quarterfinal. Dave Chisnall. Let me just update the screen. Apologies for that. There we go. He will be playing up against number 1, Humphreys. So Chisnall v Humphreys. And number 4, which is Christoph Ratajski, which will play Ratajski will play Van Gerwen. So let me just quickly sort that out on the screen for you, and we'll have a quick talk over some of the games that are going to be going on. Let me just quickly sort that out. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. So there we go. That's the draw. Done and dusted. And as you can see on your screen, that is the quarter-final draw for tomorrow afternoon. Whitlock is going to be taking on James Wade, 2 players that have had some really tough runs in the tournament so far. Played some very, very good players. Whitlock playing against Brendan Dolan today in a really, really hard-fought 10-9 match. James Wade playing off against some tough opponents, but beating them quite comfortably, including Gabriel Clemens, who he beat 10-5 today. That's going to be a brilliant game to watch. 2 players who have been desperately looking, of course, to get themselves a spot in potentially the final of the tournament, but in the end, one of these 2 is going to be going out, but also one of those 2 is going to be making the semi-final. So good to see in the end. Massive opportunity for them. Gerwin Price going to be taking on Devin Peterson, South African, of course, probably not wanting to come up against the world number 1. But going to be interested to see how he comes up against Gerwin Price tomorrow. Brilliant performance today against Chris Dobey for Gerwin Price. Probably his best performance of the tournament so far. As for Devin Peterson, didn't play his greatest today against Peter Jacks, but he's still got an opportunity, and you never know in a game like this who's going to come out on top. Just like the Whitlock-Wade game, I think the Chizzy-Humphreys game is definitely one to look out for. Humphreys got a massive chance potentially to make the quarter-final. Chizzy today played really, really good in his match against Alan Sutar, but you never know. Humphreys is a very, very good player on his day, and I think all 8 players left are fantastic to watch. But specifically Whitlock, Wade, Chisnall, Humphreys, we're going to have 2 fairly interesting players left in this competition. And then, of course, Ratajski taking on Van Gerwen. And I think if you're Ratajski, you're probably looking today and thinking, I've got a chance of beating Van Gerwen. Very, very good performance from Ratajski. Probably one of the best performances of the day in terms of the 6th round. And he'll be looking and thinking, I can be fairly confident about this game. I can come into it and I can maybe rattle MVG. When you look at it, it is setting up potentially for an MVG Price semi-final, which, depending on what happens, might be something we're covering on the channel, which I'm hoping, as a neutral, you want MVG Price. But, I mean, as a neutral, you'd love to see Ratajski, Humphreys, Peterson and Whitlock or Wade. And even Chizzy, to be fair, in there as well. Be the last 4. That'd be bloody amazing, because then you're going to get a really interesting winner at the end. But overall, that is the quarter-final draw once again. Whitlock taking on Wade, Gerwin Price taking on Devin Peterson, Chisnall taking on Luke Humphreys, and Ratajski taking on MVG. Now, we'll be back tomorrow for the action in the evening. I'm not necessarily going to be live for the afternoon darts, but I will be live tomorrow from 7:10. But we've got a whole host of other content to come on the channel over the next few days. You really don't want to miss out on it. It's a brilliant, brilliant weekend of action, and it's only just starting now, because tomorrow the Manchester Derby's taking place 4:25. KD is going to be live with all the reaction to that Premier League fixture between City and United, and then after that 7:10 you can join me live for the semi-final and the final of the Ladbrokes UK Open. Who's going to win it? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget, Monday night, Inter Milan taking on Atalanta. I'll be live from 7:35 for some Serie A action. Should be a brilliant game indeed. And then, as always, if you haven't put your name down for the UCL FIFA Sim tournament, it's a free-to-play tournament. You don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation or FIFA all to play along. There's a cash/gift card prize for the winner. If you want to play along, there's a few limited spaces left, so please, please, please do put your name down in the comments below, and I will put you in there for that tournament, which will be played next week. But as for now, I've got to say, brilliant night of action. Some really, really good games. Some interesting fixtures overall. And some really good action. If you're new as always, please don't forget to leave a like and a subscription if you haven't already. It'd be greatly appreciated if you do so as we push towards 2,000 subscribers on the channel. But like I said before, I'll be back tomorrow night, 7:10 for the semi-final and the final. But the question is, who out of those 8 players are we going to be watching tomorrow night? Who knows? Don't forget, as I said, KD, you're going to be live tomorrow with the Manchester Derby from 4:25, so there's still plenty of content to come. If you haven't checked out our social media, as always, then please do. Our Twitter, as you can see, is @_top corner, and our Instagram is _sportscorner_. We always post out on our Twitter and Instagram when we go live on YouTube, and when we also post our articles up on our website, which is thesports-corner.com. The link is in the description, as always. There's new articles available every single day on the website. I did a piece today based on the international fixtures taking place in March that have been cancelled. So if you want to read up on that, well, worth checking out, because it's a very, very good read indeed. But as for now, hope you have a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, and we will see you tomorrow night, 7:10. Don't forget it. Put it on your watch. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.